O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show. This is...
So here's the putting green. See? There you go. Got two flags. One is over there where Cutter's Edge Pro. It's not coming out now. Come on. Come on, wind. Give me a little wind. No, unfortunately. But there you go. And this one says Big O here. There you go. So there's my putting green. It's about, I would say about 25 feet, something like that. I get to practice, have a little fun. See? And then, of course, we got, the bunkers. Got to have the bunkers, man. Got all kinds of bunkers there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a taste of our backyard. There's Maiden right there. Maiden. Bono, how you doing, Bono? Bono. He's a Carolina dog, by the way. These dogs are amazing. Their temperaments are awesome. But there is the Sylvester Palm, which is just beautiful. All right, call my guys, Will and Mike at Cutter's Edge Pro. They will take care of you. Dogs are not included, okay? Can't include the dogs. Those are mine. But the exceptional work, oh, baby. Oh, baby. Yes. Make your home an oasis. CuttersEdgePro.com. Go to their Instagram page, by the way, so you can see a lot of the before and after work that they do. And it is exceptional, baby. This thing's been on here for about 9 months. No grass growing through it or anything like that. Right, Bono? Huh? Bono!
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayum is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayum, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayum can help. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty. Good morning, boys and girls. Sorry about that. A little late here on the program, but we are at Hialeah Park. We'll be here again tomorrow, by the way. But had a little bit of a curve, had some stuff I had to do, and I figured this studio might be closer than the studio I normally work at. So we're here in Hialeah today, having some fun. We'll be here at Hialeah tomorrow, too. Sean will be here with me tomorrow. Today I'm flying solo. Sean is in the studio working. We are here. New hat to the collection. What's the crowd say? It's a new. I was at Caneswear yesterday. We were working at Caneswear yesterday. So I'm at Caneswear, which is a very dangerous place to go. If you're a Dolphins, a Canes, a Marlins, a Heat, an Inter Miami, a Panthers fan. Panthers, by the way, having their training camp. They're starting now. But I saw this yesterday. I had to get it. I thought it was absolutely sharp. They have so many hats there with the classic logo, with the real logo. I had to get it. So what do we got here? What do we got here? Great cap. There we go. I like it. Anything with the old logo is awesome. Yeah, but I don't have a gray hat with an old logo. So I have a lot of Aqua. I got a brown one recently that was actually really, you've seen it. But I said, you know what? I don't have a gray one because you got to have different ones for different combinations, you know. So I figured I'd get this one, and it's sharp as hell, dude. They have this just like this in Aqua. So if you want that one also at Canes, where they've got that one. And remember, use our code Big O 10, and you get 10% off in person or online. Remember, when you order online and you order over $99, you will get free shipping. Plus, if you use our code Big O 10, you will then also get 10% off. So get your hat, get 10% off, or get another hat, get any other kind of hat. They got so many hats there. It's ridiculous. There's this Marlin hat that I'm going to get next. The next time I go, I probably will get the Marlin hat. It's the 4th of July one. I really like that Marlins hat, and so I'm probably going to get that one the next time around. I was almost tempted to get it yesterday, and then as I'm driving home, I'm going, I should have gotten that Marlins hat. So I'll get it. They'll be on their way to the World Series at that point when I can get it next month. So yeah, it's all good. The Browns signed Kareem Hunt. They did. Well, I'm not shocked that they signed. They desperately need him, after losing Chubb. So I don't know where are the Dolphin fans now, and Jonathan Taylor and Saquon Barkley and Dalvin Cook and all that stuff. Oh man, and I don't like half of you. I don't blame, because half of you just go with what media says, and we had some media people that also thought, "Oh my God, you got to go get Jonathan Taylor. Oh no, you got to get Dalvin Cook and all that silliness." Like you're a Dalvin Cook away from a championship, which is the dumbest thing in the world. That you think Jonathan Taylor and Dalvin Cook are going to get you to the championship. They're not the reason why you're going to get to a championship. They'll contribute, but the reason why you're going to get there is your coaching, your quarterback, your offensive line, your D-line, not your running back. Running back ain't going to carry jack crap. So, and the Chubb thing is a sad story, but it's also a reminder why you don't pay running backs anymore. You just can't spend a lot of money on running backs. It's a collision position. Every single time they touch the ball, it's a collision position. And it's just, it puts them at risk. Too many get injured. That's the thing. So that's why it's become such a interchangeable position in the NFL. What do we got here? Let me see who came in first. It is Jamie Zoria, number 1, with a bullet. Good morning from San Jose. He says it's hump day. I hope everybody's having a great week. And remember to smash the like button. Very important to smash the hell out of the like button. And thank you all out there yesterday for your patience. Hanging in there with us yesterday when we had all the technical snafus. They were asking for you, Sean. They're like, hey, where's the complete setup? Where's your guy? So some of the regular Thursday guys are here also on Wednesdays. And so they came up to ask, because this has kind of become like the talk show also for the poker room, because they basically can hear me. Remember, I'm Cuban. My voice carries. You know what I'm saying? So that's we're loud people, as most of you know that live in South Florida, and somebody Cuban, we're loud. So voice carries, they know. So they were coming by and asking for Sean, going, "Hey man, where's the full table? Where's everything going on?" So that was funny. Anyway, Brian Walters is in. Steve Chapman is in. He says, "I'm here in Orlando today, wondering if Messi's going to play Orlando City on Sunday. I doubt that very much. That would make no sense. He's definitely not playing Orlando City. Do you know why I say that? Because next week they play the U.S. Open Cup. And they've given him now over a week and a half of rest, almost 2 weeks of rest to play this game. I think he plays tonight. I don't think he plays on Sunday. And then he plays the U.S. Open Cup game on the 27th, which I believe is Wednesday. So that's a week from today. That gives Messi an entire week of rest. So my guesstimation is that Messi plays tonight, and he doesn't play against Orlando. They're not going to do that, man. They played him already too many games in a short time, even the 130-minute game. I think they got a little bit of a scare in Argentina. And something happened there where he tweaked something. He didn't get injured, but he tweaked it enough to scare and say, yo, let's pump the brakes. And I think that's the best thing to do. I agree with that. Pump the brakes. There's no hurry to run him into the ground. And I get it, bro. People want to see him. People pay tickets, all that stuff. But you got to do what's right for the human being, too, at the same time. And you got to do what's right for Inter Miami overall. To kill yourself and injure the guy just to get into the MLS playoffs, it's not worth it. It's better to pace the guy, win the U.S. Open Cup. Now you've won the Leagues Cup. You won the U.S. Open Cup. And, you pace him the rest of the way. If you happen to get in, then great. But I don't think you run him into the ground playing him every game. So I would tell you that I feel 99% sure that he will not play in Orlando because it's too close to the U.S. Open Cup, and they want to win the U.S. Open Cup. That's important. That trophy's right there to be had. It's only one more win, and it's the sweetest trophy of them all because the team without Messi got to the semifinals. And with Messi, they won in the semi, and now they got a chance to win the finals. So it'd be a really cool thing to kind of finish that out. So my guess is you will not see Messi in Orlando. That'll be my guess because it's more important to win the U.S. Open Cup than to satisfy Orlando fans. You can satisfy Orlando fans next year when you're playing an entire MLS season. And now you can then play the game a little differently. Miami will be in a better position next year. They'll be able to rest people, even in U.S. Open Cup games next year. They probably won't go all out either. You know what I mean? They'll probably play a lot of their subs and things like that in U.S. Open Cup games because they're in between weeks and they kind of, make multiple games. So Messi probably will not play in a lot of U.S. Open Cup games next year. So I think they want to get it done this year. That's my guess. And I'm sticking to it. Miami Breaker says, let's go. Check your pulse. Giovanni is in. Chef Jew says, good morning. OG, Big O, and everyone. How y'all doing this morning? Check your pulse. Frankie Fresco. Let's go Marlins. Crypto Fins. Like button smashed. Ty Crook is in. Emilio Hernandez. Jay Gelfin is in. Arca Rio. Think Dodgers blue. Giovanni. Hoping we see some Messi tonight. Yeah, I think you will. Tonight you will. By the way, we're waiting. Send Michelle a reminder. She wanted to do it at 11. Gus 1388. Isaiah, Boss B, John Padilla. He says, I'm getting ready for 49ers versus Giants representing my Dolphins gear. God, what a crap game we're getting, huh? 49ers, Giants. The Giants are such frauds. Dable did a really good job last year to get him into the playoffs. But Daniel Jones is not the answer, never has been, never will be. Saquon now is injured, no shock there. It's another reason why you don't pay running backs, especially Saquon Barkley. Although some of you wanted to trade and sign Saquon Barkley, which is crazy. What a shit game, dude, that we end up with. Terrible game, man. Terrible. But enjoy sporting the colors, John, because the Dolphins for sure are the team. How come the live show is not on the other channel anymore? Well, because of YouTube. YouTube screwed us and didn't give us the approval we needed on that channel after we did all the requirements. So it's a screw up. So we got it running here. It is what it is. What can I do? And remember, folks, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Chad is in the house. Luis Guillermo is in. He's in from Venezuela. Enjoying the Tua power offense. You should be. All right, let's talk a little football. Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald does an excellent job of covering Inter Miami on a daily basis. Inter Miami getting ready to host Toronto tonight at Drive Pink Stadium. Let's bring her aboard. Michelle Kaufman, good morning.
When you want to find out the latest with Messi and Inter Miami, there's only one source soccer fans have counted on for over 20 years. Michelle Kaufman of the Miami Herald. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Inter Miami CF report. Here's Michelle Kaufman.
Good morning. I don't hear you though now.
You don't hear me?
Oh, there you
Oh,
are.
now I do.
Okay.
Now I do. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Sean's laptop's got a life of itself. Anyway, yeah, that thing is running on its own. Anyway, somebody was asking me because they're in Orlando watching the show, and they're asking me if Messi's going to play, and I said, nah, I don't think so. I think he plays tonight, and then he plays for the U.S. Open Cup because it's a week later. But I don't think we're going to see Messi from here on out on all these games in between and short rest and all that stuff. There must have been some kind of a scare in Argentina, not an injury, but a little tweak or something that they said, time to hit the brakes here on this crazy run. So fill us in. What's going on? Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, there's no way to know because no one tells you anything, and we don't have access to Lionel Messi, so we can't ask him how he's feeling. Tata, all we can do is rely on the coach, Tata Martino, and he basically says he's fatigued, he's tired, he's 36 years old. He played 14 games in 48 days, so that's one game every 4 days. They now have a stretch with one game every 3 days over the next 3 weeks. So it's very difficult to play Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday, Sunday, Wednesday. It's hard for anybody, but for a guy like him, first of all, he likes to play 90 minutes. He doesn't like to come out. And he's 36. So, the load management or whatever you want to call it is going to be a big part of what Tata is going to do right now because Lionel Messi does want to play in every game. I mean, that I've heard from people. He wants to play all the time, every minute. He never wants to come out. So Coach Tata said yesterday that it's his job as the manager, especially at this point in the season, to help these guys make difficult decisions. So, I have no way of knowing if he's going to play in Orlando. Nobody does, to be honest. It's going to depend. How long does he play tonight? Does he come in tonight and just play part of the game? Does he play the whole game? Is it a physical game? Is it not? What are the weather conditions? Is there going to be a thunderstorm tonight? Is there going to be a 3-hour rain delay? I mean, there's no way to project Sunday. We don't even know for sure what he's doing tonight. I mean, I think that he's going to play tonight. I think it's probable that he'll start the game tonight. To be honest, they need him more against Orlando than they do against Toronto, which is a last place team that has only 4 wins.
Yeah, but you need him for the U.S. Open Cup. So you're not going to play him on that Sunday before the Wednesday, right? Is it Sunday or Saturday?
It's Sunday, Wednesday. It's Sunday.
You're not playing him that Sunday to then play him on Wednesday. with the scare that they had. So my guess is he plays tonight, but he ain't playing against Orlando. And basically, by them saying that they're focusing on the U.S. Open Cup more than the MLS playoffs at the moment, that kind of tells me that they're not going to wear him out. So my guess is that. Would that be your guess? If you had to guess.
I mean, Tata, if I had to guess, yes, Tata has made it clear that the U.S. Open Cup is a chance to get a trophy. It's one game. It's one game, a chance to get a second trophy into the trophy cabinet, which had 0 trophies before. It would now have 2 in the span of a month. Then after that, I think after that starts the real playoff push, starting with the New York game, and all the games that are leading after that. I think at that point, once they go and play that U.S. Open Cup, that I think they have a chance to win it. It's at home. It's in Houston. I think they feel it's a chance to win a cup. It's a one game. The chances of making the playoffs are slimmer, obviously, than winning one game. So, obviously they want to do everything. They would love to win the treble. They'd love to win 2 trophies and then go and make a playoff run, get into the playoffs, see what they can do, all of that. And that's what the fans want. That's what all the players want. Obviously, that's what Tata wants. I think right now, as the manager of the team, he is saying what is most important right now this week and next week. And I think he will play tonight because he has not played for Inter Miami since September 3rd. And let's be honest, I don't think that they're necessarily influenced by Apple, but Apple paid $2.5 billion to have him on. The U.S. Open Cup game is not an Apple product. That is a U.S. soccer event. That is not an MLS event. So that will not be on Apple. So, I think they would like to have him on Apple sometime, in the next few days. Again, I don't think that Tata necessarily is basing decisions on that, but I think he probably will play tonight. He probably will start tonight and maybe not play against Orlando. Definitely will play the U.S. Open Cup final because Tata has been making a big deal about what a big deal that is and how important it is to try to get a second trophy. And then after that, I think then they can, see where they are at that point in the standings, see where they are after Sunday and how realistic is it to try to win out the rest of their games, which is what they would probably have to do.
Yeah, and it's a pair, right? It's not just Messi, it's Alba, right? It looks like you're getting one with the other, whether they both rest or they both play.
Not necessarily, because Alba played the game before when Messi didn't play when he was out. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not even still convinced that it didn't have anything to do with artificial turf. I mean, they say it didn't, but who knows? You know what I mean? The fact that they both chose to sit, the fact that neither one of those guys is familiar with artificial turf, the fact that Aaron Rodgers had just lost his season Monday prior, and it was all over the sports news on ESPN and everywhere that Aaron Rodgers is out for the year, after an injury on turf. Who knows what played into it? Again, we can sit and we can speculate. We don't know because we don't really get honest conversations with these athletes. We don't get conversations, period. But even if we did, they can say whatever. Tata can say, Tata loves Atlanta United. He was a coach there. He went on and on about what fond memories he has there. He's not going to sit there and rip that team or rip that stadium for having artificial turf. He has a great relationship with Arthur Blank and with that club. So he went out of his way to say that it had nothing to do with artificial turf. But do we know that for a fact? No, we don't. We don't really know anything. We really don't know anything. We make educated guesses is what we do.
Do they what do you guys tell them about like Messi having no access to the number one star in the entire league and in the team, a guy that the most important player, and he rarely ever talks.
He's only spoken once, right? Yeah. Which is one more than he did with PSG for the whole season. I'll be honest, we've discussed it just yesterday. Actually, we're discussing it with the media relations department, and they are working with Messi's publicists and handlers that are not here. They are, they've been his handlers from way back, from Barcelona days. The truth is, there's there's an adjustment period from a media standpoint. None of the guys over there, none of the guys in Europe do daily media. None of the guys in Europe talk on game days. In Europe, when they say mix zone after the game, what it means is they put up a backdrop. If you watch EPL or La Liga, whatever, after the game, there's a backdrop that goes up, and the rights holder stands there with a microphone, and one or two players and the coach come over and talk. That's it. They don't talk to the media that are non-rights holders. This is a very new concept. The idea that athletes and coaches would speak to non-rights holding media. That just doesn't happen in the rest of the world. When you own the rights in the rest of the world, you get exclusive rights to talk to the athletes, to talk to the coaches. The rest of the
but that's in that's in other countries. That's not here in the United States. See, the problem is that the rest of the world only has one sport. We don't play like that in this country. In this country, we have all kinds of sports. You know what? He should at least do a Harvey Green quarterback special. You know, Harvey Green would give you the quarterback once a week, and you knew it was right. You knew it was what day it was, what time it was.
Whatever, not Tuesday. Tuesday was the off day. Wednesday, whatever. It was Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday. You would get one day. Here's what you're going to get: 10 minutes. Ask your questions. Boom.
And that's it. And at least the superstar, the quarterback, because everybody else was available normally. Although Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas would also, Zach was available a little bit more. I could get Zach on Fridays sometimes. But, you know, at least do that, man, once a week. I get how they do things in the rest of the world, but we're different here. We're different than every other country, because every other country only has one major sport, really. Some countries might have a second sport that's pretty decent, but not like us, that we have several major sports. It's
plus college sports. Plus we have college sports here too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we are pushing, at the moment, we're pushing for once a month. He's spoken in the month of September. He spoke once, which was August 17th. We are waiting. It is possible that maybe he will speak next week around the U.S. Open Cup final, because that is going to be a big game for them, a chance to hold up the trophy. We have been pushing the local media who cover the team every day. We've been pushing for an availability in the month of September, which is running out in 10 days. So maybe next week we'll get a chance to talk to him. But it's difficult, because like this whole stretch where he left for the national team, then didn't play against Bolivia, came back and trained. He was out training last week. Yeah. But you know, they were very coy about whether he was going to play, not play, travel, not travel. It finally came out because he posted an Instagram photo of a pizza box of a pizza place, a pizzeria in Miami Beach, an Argentine pizzeria. That is how everybody found out. He posted a picture of a pizza box from Banchero, whatever, pizzeria at Miami Beach. And then everyone's like, uh-oh, he's not in Atlanta. He's eating pizza in Miami. And then, you know, the world went crazy and everyone started then critiquing the pizza and what the pizza doesn't look good. The pizza is good. The pizza, that's how Argentine pizza looks. Well, our pizza is better, whatever. So it turned into a big brouhaha about the stupid pizza. But that is how we're learning information about Leo Messi, because he's posting a picture of a pizza box. That's how we find out that he didn't play in Atlanta. You know, this is what we're dealing with. What can I tell you?
Yeah,
this is reality.
It's pretty. By the way, I'm really proud of Campana. Man, have you been able to talk to him to figure out how do you figure out his body? Because, you know, he's staying healthy and you know, knock on wood here, because that's really his only thing. And the way he's played, and they really need him to be a stud right now on those moments that 10 isn't on the pitch. They need the guy that's a threat. And he's the next guy that is a true threat for this team.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's been scoring. He's had 3 braces. He said, you know, he's playing great right now. He's absolutely playing great. I think he was a little bit hurt that he didn't make the Ecuadorian national team for the recent games. I know that he was kind of thinking that he was going to be on that roster and he wasn't. So I know that that's a major motivating factor for him, especially when 9 other teammates made their national teams. Some of them are teams that are not as big and not as big, in the grand scheme. But the fact that 9 players on Inter Miami made their national team and Leo Campana was not one of them, that hurt him. So that is a motivating factor for him. He is dying to play for the national team and to be in the picture for the next World Cup, and he's going to be the perfect age and everything. So that's a motivating factor. They just signed him on Friday to a contract extension through the year 2027 with an option for 28. So they are showing, they're showing him some love with what he's done recently. I think it may be writing on the wall for Joseph Martinez. If you look at the game against Atlanta, I thought maybe Joseph would play more because it was a home.
I thought he would start. I thought he would start next to Campana because obviously his former team, and that'll give him a lift, and you really needed a spark in that game.
Coach, and Tata was his coach in Atlanta and all that stuff. He didn't come in until the very end. So I think the way that Leo Campana is playing right now, his height, what he adds to the attack in the air is something that no other short team. I think only 3 players are over 6 feet tall on this team. One of them is Chris McVeigh, who rarely plays. I think Ryan Saylor. There may be 4, but a couple of them are guys who have not really had many minutes. So, Leo Campana is one of the only tall guys on this team. And Sergio.
You mean Breck Shea's nowhere to be found?
No more Breck Shea for that height, for those air balls. So anyway, I think Campana has really lifted his game. He's stayed in great shape. He said at the beginning of this season that he has a new, sort of a new exercise regime, recovery. He's very focused on his recovery. He was always fit. I mean, his body was chiseled and he looked like a Roman statue or whatever, but Greek statue. But but he was getting injured a lot, and he would play and do great and then injure, play and do great and injure. Robbie Robinson also has been staying healthy, but has not really had a chance to show much. So I don't know what his future is going to be. You're cutting him, okay?
I cut him already a while back. I've given up on Robbie already. I just don't think Robbie. I see the thing I like about Campana. He's a tough sumbitch, and he shows it out there. Robbie has no edge to him. I think Robbie just, I don't know. He looks like a mama's boy, basically, to me. He just doesn't look like a kid that wants it. I don't see a dog out there, And when I watch some of these other kids that they brought in, those under 22 guys, they play with fire, bro. And that's and I got to see that out there on the pitch. And I know Robbie has the gifts. I've seen it. I've watched it. I know he has the gifts, but it takes more than that. There has to be some kind of a fire and a desire that you've got to play the game with, and I just don't see it with Robbie. So let me ask you, Toronto today, what's the challenge for Toronto tonight for Miami? Because
Toronto's the last place team. Toronto's the only team that has a worse record right now than Miami does. Miami has 8 wins at least. They have 4. They only have 4 wins. They're coming off a loss to Vancouver. They did beat Philadelphia 3-1. So you have to look at that and say, okay, they were capable of beating. Yeah. They beat Philadelphia 3-1, but they've only won 4 games all season. They have, Michael Bradley is on that team still and starting after all this time. They have the 2 Italian stars. The big deal last summer was when they signed the 2 Italian stars, Insigne and oh gosh, the guy with the long name, defender. Anyway,
it hasn't worked out.
Federico. Yeah. So the Bresciarani. Anyway, they have 2 very talented Italian players. When they signed them, they were 2 of the highest priced signings. Bob Bradley was the coach then. It was a big deal. They came in last summer and everyone made a big deal. As it turned out, it was maybe a little too late for last season. They didn't really work things out. Then Bob Bradley got fired. They have an interim coach now. The Canadian national coach is going to take over this team. So it's a team that is in transition. It's a team that's in a bit of upheaval at the moment. So, and the game is in Miami. I believe Messi will start tonight, play whatever. This is a game that Miami absolutely should win. They're
Yes.
playing the last place team at home with Messi and conceivably Messi and Alba both. And Toronto is a team that's really in flux right now.
And you're really not the second worst team in the league. Miami's way better than that. Their record doesn't indicate how good they are right now. It's just the record that they have at the moment, unfortunately.
It's the record that they had before the summer overhaul.
Right.
So they inherited the last place record.
Right.
This is a team that inherited the last place record. Since then, in the league, they have 3 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie.
Right.
In the league games. And then obviously the tournament games, they were playing MLS teams. They were playing MLS teams and beating all those teams. So they've been beating MLS teams now since July 26th or whatever. But in league play, they are 3-1-1 since the league resumed, and presumably they should be able to beat Toronto. This is a game they should win. They should get 3 points tonight, close the gap a little bit more. They're to 7 points now. They have to make up 7 points in 7 games. They have to leapfrog 5 teams to get to the playoff line, and that is 7 points in 7 games.
Well, let's hope they get it done. Follow her on Twitter, by the way, at Kauf Sports, as always. Catch her work there at the Miami Herald. And, of course, catch her doing her thing here weekly with the EJDconstruction.com Inter Miami CF report. Michelle, enjoy the football tonight. We'll be watching, hoping they pick up a big victory.
Thank you. Thanks. I want to say one last thing.
Yes.
Since I'm dropping my podcast tomorrow, that'll be a post-game analysis. So this was your pre-game. And tomorrow, if you want some post-game comments from me, I have a podcast called Inside Inter Miami that the Miami Herald is producing along with Andre Fernandez. So that'll be tomorrow. So enjoy everything I said today. And then I'll have a little more to say tomorrow post-game. So we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you to EJD Construction.
There you go. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate you immensely. There you go. EJD Construction. Call my guy, Eric. They will take care of you. 305-433-4843. Custom home construction, major home remodeling. Go to their Instagram page at EJD Construction. You can see a lot of the before and after stuff, and it'll blow you away. You might see my home, too. You'll see, if you see one that has a putting green on the side, that's my house there. Got my putting green in the backyard. Got the artificial turf for the doggies and all that. And, you know, the backyard's like an oasis. And you can do the same thing, bro. Check it out. EJDconstruction.com.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Inter Miami CF Report with Michelle Kaufman. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
He repaired that wall of ours, and I know it's right next to the putting green. So I don't know if he has it up on the Instagram page. I know it's all over on Cutter's Edge, but he has it there on the EJD Construction page. You'll see it there because, you know, that's where those kids like went through the wall of my house, you know, and he repaired the wall. So major home construction, major home remodeling and custom home construction. Call my guys at EJDconstruction.com. All right, let's do it. My man Matt Verderame is ready to rock and roll. Let's go around the NFL. How you doing, my man? How you feeling this morning?
I am good. It's a jam-packed Wednesday. I got a lot going on, so I am happy to be here and talk some football. I can't believe it's already week 3. Week 3 in the NFL.
Yeah, and we're you know, bad news, obviously, with the Chubb situation. Yeah. But it kind of reminds you why there isn't this dedication by smart teams to go spend a lot of money on running backs. And, you know, look at the Jets. You put together the worst line in the NFL or top 3 worst line in the NFL in front of a 40-year-old quarterback. But then you want to have the luxury of going out and spending $8.6 million on a running back that you really don't need, when maybe you should have used that $8.6 million to try to find a lineman or something. in the off season or whatever it is. And then we see the Chubb stuff go down. And so we had some fun this weekend. We said, well, some of you wanted Dalvin Cook and some of you wanted Saquon Barkley and some of you wanted Jonathan Taylor. Well, all three combined over the weekend did not outrush Raheem Mostert. And so, it's hilarious and it's sad, obviously, the Chubb situation. But what happened with the Chubb situation, it ends up magnifying the reason why running backs are so devalued now.
Well, it shows a few things, right? I mean, one of the things that it shows is that you really, if you're a running back, you probably ought to sit out if you can, and get your money. Now, unfortunately, a lot of these guys may sit out till kingdom come. They're still not going to get paid, right? So puts them in a tough spot. Number two, most running backs, I don't want to say they're interchangeable, but they really kind of thrive based on the scheme, how many guys are in the box against them, right? I mean, Raheem Mostert has a real big advantage. The Dolphins scare the hell out of everybody down the field. So he's going against light boxes all the time. And the Dolphins predicate their offense on speed. And, of course, Raheem Mostert has a ton of speed. So he fits in what they do. Nick Chubb is one of the rare guys. I think you pretty much put him in any system and he'd be great. And unfortunately, an ugly injury. Hopefully he can come back from it. That was
McGahee all over again, bro.
Yeah.
McGahee all over again.
It really, just from a visual, I mean, if you remember Napoleon McCallum of the Raiders, which was a tragic injury. I mean, it was that kind of ugly. So hopefully he can come back. But your point about some of these other running backs, I mean, look, Jonathan Taylor, of course, on the shelf right now. He's on PUP. Dalvin Cook, so far this year, has 17 carries. He has 40 yards. So if you're the Jets, I agree with you. Why didn't you go out and get Dalton Reisner? Why didn't you go out and sign somebody who could help you up front when you have Breece Hall? You don't necessarily need – and I get he's coming off the ACL, but you ought to know that he's healthy. You're with him every day. So, I agree. It wasn't the best allocation.
No, and they have Michael Carter that they also drafted. You didn't have this need, this dying need, and Dalton Reisner was out there, and Dalton was out there because he wanted money. He wanted to get paid. And nobody was willing to give him the money. I know here in Miami, I inquired. Apparently, they don't think he fits their outside zone scheme. But obviously, he fits what they do now. So you sign him if you get an opportunity. And so now somebody signs him. But that's what the Jets should have done. You should have, it reminds me of the Colts, bro. You're watching Andrew Luck take a beating over and over again, and you do nothing about it, bro.
Right.
It just makes absolute no sense there. Speaking of making no sense, Chris Jones
back in action, back on the field, and back in Indeed at a sack and a half. He was fantastic. Look, he's got to get to 10 sacks to basically earn back the money that he surrendered. Look, and I know there was the Chiefs have been busy.
It's not a very good job business-wise on his side, dude.
No, it's not.
Great for the Chiefs.
They
got the guy back. They got their Mahomes back on defense. Fantastic for them.
Yep.
But personally for him,
it's not great.
He didn't win the battle, bro.
No, he didn't. And to his credit, he came back in shape and was great. It was probably the difference against Jacksonville. He had a sack and a half. If you watch that game, he could have had about 3 other ones. He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But now it's interesting. I mean, I know Adam Schefter had a report that's unlikely the Chiefs going to tag him after this year. We do respect Adam. I don't know how you could know that in September. I mean, there's a lot of time between then and now. I got to tell you, I would frankly disagree. I think there's a very good chance they're going to tag him if he has a great year. I don't think they're letting 15 sacks walk out the door without compensation. But listen, he was great. He was great. He opened up George Karlaftis, their first-round pick a year ago, or one of their 2 first-rounders from a year ago, who also had a sack and a half in the game, was everywhere. So, they go down to Jacksonville, and the offense really kept shooting itself in the foot. They had a dozen penalties, but defensively they gave up 3 field goals, and one of which came off a muff punt in the red zone. So the defense was spectacular, and they are 1-1 now with the Bears and the Jets the next 2 weeks.
So talk to me about our Dolphins. 2-0 right now. That offense is humming. And in week 2, I got to say Fangio's defense stepped up
a lot. They shut down the run, which, by the way, I will go to my grave on this. Last week, it was all McDaniel hard on that he wanted to prove that the middle of the field he owns. That was just one of those things. That was an ego thing last week because he abandoned the run last week. And then this week, there was a balance, and they took care of business against the Patriots. Although this is the funny part. I get some Dolphin fans like, well, the game was kind of close. It should have been bigger. I mean, winning only by 7. And it's like I turn to those the ones that have said that to me. I go, hey, Eagles beat them by 5. They were in the Super Bowl. Chill out, buddy. Relax. You're not going to rout the Patriots a lot. You know what I'm saying? But your thoughts on the 2-0 Dolphins?
Yeah, look, man, I think part of it too is you have to understand when you're playing an offense that, frankly, with New England is pretty much a pop gun offense. If you're Miami, you're not going to take a bunch of chances and go full throttle offensively. You don't have to. I mean, the only mistake they made in that game was Tua's interception, right? I mean, really, that was the one play where you go, why do you throw that ball there? But other than that, and by the way, it wasn't even a bad decision to throw the ball. He just threw it too far inside. I mean, that ball is more down the boundary, then it's either Hill or it's nobody. He left it inside, and Gonzalez made a great play. Credit to him.
Yeah. It was that was they got a little cute there, and they wanted to go test the rookie.
Yep. And the rookie said, "Okay, I'm here. You can test me. Fine, fair enough, right?" Yeah. I thought the Dolphins played an excellent game. I never felt like they were in any trouble of actually losing that game. Yeah. I mean, at the end of it, New England was driving. I don't know. I mean, I never felt like New England was going to punch that thing in the end zone. And look, I think it's two things about that game. One is, I still want to see Miami against a really good offense show up defensively. I mean, New England, they might be the slowest offense in the NFL. They just have no.
They're terrible.
They have nobody. And I understand with Belichick why that the rookie fumbles and they bench him. But like, man, that kid is juice. He's about the only guy on that whole offense who had any juice. And you're going to bench him. Don't love it. Look, the Dolphins do what they should have done. They played well against that team defensively. They did their job. Van Ginkel had a great game. Offensively, the Dolphins move the ball at will. Look, with Belichick's defense there's always going to be a wrinkle. There's always going to be something that causes a problem. Very rarely do the Packers go 38 points. Like that team, they're well coached defensively, very well coached defensively, and they have good talent on defense. So I thought Miami did what they had to do. You go in there and you win that game. It doesn't matter if you win by 4 or 7 or 14. It's irrelevant. The Dolphins did a nice job. I think they're going to beat the absolute doors off of Denver on Sunday.
Yeah, Denver's a bad team.
Denver stinks. I don't see any world where that's a tough game.
And Miami's home, dude. I mean, you opened up, the interesting part, I don't know if you realize this, only 2 teams in the NFL opened up with 2 road games for the first 2 weeks.
Them and the Niners, right?
And both are 2-0.
Well, to me, though, the more important thing with the Dolphins is, okay, so for the Niners, that's all good and well. You're in the NFC. You have more road games than home games this year. If you're the Dolphins, you have 15 games left. You have 9 home games, 5 road games, and a neutral site game. So you are well positioned. Look, I picked the Dolphins for the year to win the division, and I firmly believe they will. I think you've seen why. Tua's been fantastic. Tua's throwing the ball deeper than anybody all year long, and he's getting
no. He can't throw the deep ball. Yeah, he can't do that.
He's done it fine. He's done it fine. And they, look, I think.
Are you sure that's not a hologram?
I think at some point they're going to get the Chiefs treatment, which is going to be teams are just going to, which Belichick did to an extent in week 2. He's just going to be an umbrella over the top.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, you can move the ball, but you're going to have to execute in the red zone. So that's going to be the next thing for the Dolphins, which every offense. You're picking one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL to do that. Right, because he's accurate.
Because he's deadly accurate.
And I agree with you. But I agree. The question is going to be in the red zone where speed doesn't matter as much because it's more of a condensed area. That's where the Dolphins have to really execute well, right? And against the Chargers, they had a couple turnovers there. It didn't matter. They ended up scoring 36. Look, I'm not doubting it. I think the Dolphins are going to be just fine. My point is that's going to be, to me, if I'm McDaniel, I'm a heavy focus on the red zone.
Yeah.
Getting there, it's just going to be a matter of you've got to execute in tight spaces where speed doesn't matter as much because you can't stretch teams when you're down at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, think about it, man. They play Denver this week. Then they go to the Bills. That'll be the fun
That's a big test. Yep.
And then they come home against the Giants and against Carolina.
They'll kill both of them.
And then they've got Philadelphia on week 7.
Okay.
So the Dolphins technically can be either 5-1 or 6-0 going into that game against Philadelphia.
Is that on the road or at home?
No, that the Philly game is on the road.
It's on the road.
It's on the road. But again, I mean, that's fine on the road, home, whatever. You got to deal with the test. But this is pretty good for them that they've got a lot of winnable games now. Again, some guy goes to me, I love these Dolphin fans that act like they've been winning for 20 years when they've been sucking for 20 years. But he goes to me, well, they won, but not elite. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? They started the season with 2 road wins.
Yeah.
One out west and then in New England. That's elite.
If
you open up the season with 2 road wins in the NFL, I don't care who you beat. Yeah. But beating the Chargers and the Patriots on the road to open up the season, bro, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Be happy.
The Chargers are 0-2, and the Chargers are who they are, but they're talented. And the Patriots are always one of the best coached teams in football. So you win those games, you feel great about it. You come home for a game you ought to win by 15 points. Okay. Now, I'm with you though. If you talk to people in the league, they'll sit there and tell you, bro, I don't care if I win by 4 points or by 40 points. Win the game. In the NFL, it's hard to win games. Yeah, it is hard to win. And you know what? The other part of this too is they get better and better. And I don't know if the Dolphins have this mentality yet, but the really, really good teams, like the Eagles, for example, they're going to have some games where they play, a 3-point game against a team they should beat by 20. And they'll say all the right things in the pressers. The truth is, it's because they go into that week thing. We're going to kill this team. We're going to kill this team. I was just talking to somebody yesterday who's a Super Bowl champion, a former quarterback, and said the hardest weeks were the weeks where we played a team we knew we were going to beat, because those are the games you have a hard time getting up for those games. He's like, when you play the best team in the league, you don't have a problem getting up for that game. That game, and I think that speaks to as well. Let's say when the Dolphins play the Panthers. The Dolphins are going to look at that game and go, you're going to kill the Panthers. The Panthers are going to look at that game and go, if we don't play our absolute best, we're going to get smoked. And so you're going to get this best effort out of that team. It's like the Bears and the Chiefs this week. The Chiefs know that unless they completely lay down, they're going to win that game. The Bears know that if they don't play well, they're going to lose by 40. So there's this mentality on the Bears side of we got to do everything we can. And the Chiefs are sitting there playing tic-tac-toe in practice because they think that's where coaching comes in. That's where leadership comes in, and that's where, that the Dolphins are going to get to that point, and that's a good thing because it means you're good.
Let's let me run this by you because it's so easy for us to say this. And I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday. So we call Belichick the GOAT because of the 6 championships, right? It's obvious. Okay, but don't you have to do something without Tom Brady to be the GOAT? Because if, let's say, Joe Gibbs can win 3 championships with 3 different quarterbacks that aren't Hall of Famers, if Don Shula can go to the Super Bowl with Marino and Woodstock and win it with Greasy, if guys are doing it with different people, and Bill Belichick is now 79 and 89 without Tom Brady.
Yeah,
he cannot win anything without Tom Brady. And then Tom Brady leaves and goes and wins a title in Tampa Bay, and this guy still can't make the playoffs. I get it that we call him the GOAT for the 6 titles, but I'm almost at the point now where I'm saying that's wrong, dude. I saw Pat Riley take the Knicks to the finals and win it with the Heat and win it with the Lakers.
Right.
I saw Phil Jackson win it with the Bulls and win it with the Lakers. Show me variety. Show me that you can do it again with a different kind of team, a different kind of leader, all that. I have not seen that from Belichick. Does he need that in order to truly have the GOAT label?
For some people, yeah, and I don't think that's totally unfair. I'm of 2 minds with Belichick. One is I think he's the best defensive coach I've ever seen.
No, I have never argued that.
That guy, the crap he comes up with is just staggering.
Just did it this week.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
mean,
fine.
just stuff where you're like, what is he doing? How are they playing? I mean, just crazy stuff. But I think so. I think there's that. I also think it's incredible that they won 3 out of 4 Super Bowls in the early part of the century and then waited a decade and then won more Super Bowls. Like, that's nuts. But there is a reality that, yes, without Brady, he has been a below 500 head coach. I mean, that is a fact. That is a statistical fact. I've always been of the belief, and maybe it's the old school part of me, like Lombardi to me is the best coach in NFL history. Like, to go and take over a team in the Packers, it was a 1-win team, and then go win 5 out of 7 years. And then people don't even realize this. You went to Washington for 1 year before he got stomach cancer and took a team that couldn't win for 30 years and immediately was over 500 and was trending in the right direction. I mean, there's a lot of ways to look at it. Tom Landry was a guy.
But he showed you
that he could do it somewhere else. Right.
He went somewhere else. And
Tom Landry didn't go anywhere else, but coached different iterations of the Cowboys for years and years and years, and they were good for years. I mean, there's truth in that. You know, hell, Andy Reid was great in Philly. Then he goes to Kansas City, and now they're, a burgeoning dynasty, if you want to call it that. No, there's truth in that. There's truth in that.
And by the way, he can't find another quarterback. Where Andy Reid finds
always
quarterbacks. Alex Smith played the greatest football under Andy Reid. Like, he was super conservative his entire career, and he goes to Kansas City, and Andy Reid gets his BBs to drop. And you're like, wow, he actually got Alex Smith to play a little aggressive.
I think,
you know what I'm saying? He develops Donovan McNabb, and obviously look what he did with Mahomes. I mean, but Andy Reid's proven that shit, dude, that he's done it. And even Bill Walsh was on his way because he made the move for Steve Young.
Yep.
So he kind of set it up. You know what I'm saying? Seifert basically coached his team, It was very, what was it, Barry Switzer-like? What Seifert did.
With Seifert, which is why Seifert's not in the Hall despite having two Super Bowl victories. Look, I know there's truth in that. I think, Parcells is another guy like that, who coached a whole bunch of teams and, went to the Super Bowl with the Patriots, won 2 with the Giants, went to the AFC title game with the Jets, went to the playoffs a couple times with Dallas. Like, and Gibbs is a perfect example because he won 3 Super Bowls with 3 quarterbacks, none of which are in the Hall of Fame. So
that's the greatest.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, that is just a staggering.
That's the GOAT of all coaches for me.
No, it's a fair.
That accomplishment. Nobody will beat that accomplishment.
No one will ever.
No one.
I agree with you.
I agree. Ever come close to that accomplishment.
There's a lot. I mean, look, I've always been of a mind to further your case, frankly. The guys like Bill Cowher are underrated. Like, Cowher never had a great quarterback. And I know people, so he had Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger was not a great quarterback when he had him. He was young. He was in his infancy. I mean, Cowher was winning conference titles with Neil O'Donnell and like Cordell Stewart. Marty Schottenheimer was great everywhere he went.
Yeah.
And as somebody who grew up a Chiefs fan, I always laugh. People are like, yeah, but what about the playoffs? He had Steve Bono. Right. What was he going to do? Like, it wasn't his fault they lost those games.
So they fired him 1 year when he won 13 games with the Chargers.
I mean, it's 14. Won 14 games.
Like,
they were the one seed.
Marty Schottenheimer doesn't get enough credit.
Like, to me, I'm sorry. How is that guy not in the Hall of Fame? Like, you're going to tell me that guy's not a Hall of Fame head coach? But he was going deep in the
hands down. He's a Hall of Fame. Because he didn't win the big one, bro.
And I get it. I get it. But sometimes I do think as much as I am one of these people who's definitely like, hey, results are what matter. Like, don't talk about showing me the work. Show me the result. A guy like that, a guy like Chuck Knox, you're going to tell me that guy's not as good of a coach as somebody like a Tom Flores? But listen, Tom Flores, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Tom Flores won 2 Super Bowls with Jim Plunkett. Like, he deserves to be there. He was a great coach. But you're going to tell me Marty Schottenheimer is not on that level? Or Chuck Knox is not on that level? Of course he is. Of course they are. Like, yeah, I get they didn't win, but my God, Chuck Knox went to the playoffs year after year after year with who? With a bunch of teams that nobody else could win with? I think I agree with you. We look at coaches in a weird way.
Yeah, Brown Chuck. It's just kind of weird that, I get Belichick, but it's just I have a hard I need to see him do something else with another kind of team before
it's not unfair. It's not an unfair way to look at it.
Yeah, it's just you get on a run with one guy that was just an absolute magical player, bro.
Right.
And I just need to see something, a little bit different, and then maybe I can then I could go with the whole deal. What'd you think of the Browns signing Kareem Hunt?
I think that it was pretty obvious that was going to happen. They had to get a running back in there. I will tell you this, though. I spoke with people at Cleveland. I visited them at a training camp tour I did this summer for SI. And I asked some people, hey, who's the guy in this team who could surprise? And Jerome Ford kept coming up. And they were really high in Jerome Ford. So I don't think Ford's going to the bench for Kareem Hunt. I think this is more of an insurance purpose thing. I think Ford's going to be the guy.
Yeah, he got 100 yards.
They really liked him in the summer. I mean, I can tell you that for a fact. In fact, I wrote about Jerome Ford over the summer because he was so talked about. So I still think he's going to be a guy who gets 20 carries. I think Hunt's going to be that change of pace, fill in, so on and so forth. But yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised at all that they're going back to Kareem Hunt, at least in some capacity on that roster.
Yeah, I'm sure Jerome was explosive in fantasy and in transactions. Yeah. Now, that leads me to the question. Deshaun Watson, done, history in the archives, because you watch him and there's no edge there, bro.
Dude, it's
no edge.
Not going to lie to you. It's pretty rough. I mean, we're now, like last year he played 6 games coming off the suspension. And I really made it a point not to judge him off of those games because
you shouldn't.
He was out for essentially almost 2 years. Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And putting aside for a brief second all the off-field ugliness, like just judging him as a player to me was unfair last year.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
You're coming into a spot, you've never really gotten any real live action from these guys. Fine. You didn't have the whole offseason. You've been in this offense. You've had the playbook for 2 years. Okay. You look horrific. I mean, it's not like, well, he's missed this throw and that throw, but otherwise, he's been awful in these games. And they've had a running game. They've had a great running game for him. It's not like it's all been on him. I mean, he's been able to have an offensive line that's plowing the road for their running backs. Can you throw a pass? And look, if I'm the Browns, I'm terrified for one reason and one reason only. You are tied to him for this and 3 more. And there is nobody who's going to be lining up for Deshaun Watson in that contract, okay?
Oh, no. Yeah.
Like, this is one of those deals. If he doesn't get better, everybody's fired. Like, everybody, because you can't fire him, so everybody else is fired. This isn't like a Kyler Murray, hey, we'll trade him and eat a dead cap hit for a year. No. You traded 3 first-round picks and then gave this guy a fully guaranteed contract well north of $200 million, okay?
Yeah, but you and I know that – this probably had to do a lot more with the crazy-ass, irresponsible, foolish owner.
Well, of course, but it doesn't matter, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I know, but he's going to be firing a whole bunch of people when he's the one that probably gave up those first rounders.
He fire himself.
And he's the one that approved all that guaranteed money, bro, because come on.
Course, but
you know that Lerner guy is crazy, bro. He's
not selling the team. So everybody else is going first. And if I've watched every snap of the Browns these first 2 weeks. That offense is if somebody stops the run, good luck to you.
That's it.
Because there is nothing else happening. I mean, he's not just missing throw. He's off by a mile on some of these. I mean, it's not even close. They play a very interesting game at home against Tennessee this weekend, which I know it's not the sexiest game. They're 1-1. Tennessee's 1-1. Tell you one thing about the Titans. Cleveland's not running the ball all day on them. Like, that front is no joke, and they are going to get after Cleveland defensively. I am very curious to see what this thing looks like on Sunday afternoon because – and last thing I'll say about it, people keep talking about, well, you know, it rained in week 1. The weather was bad. Hey, guys, he plays in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Like, the weather's always – it's like playing in Green Bay and being like, well, listen, he just can't handle the cold. Well, then you're screwed.
Yeah.
Like – if you can't, it's the same thing with, frankly, now there's a lot more going on with Burrow right now. But week 1 with Burrow, I kept seeing, well, he took his gloves off, put them back on, the weather. You play in Cincinnati. You got to be able to throw the ball in the rain.
I'm going to give Burrow a break. Because he was off
the calf.
Yeah, dude. He was off
Watson,
6, 7, 8 weeks. And
I don't want to hear about Watson that he can't throw in the rain.
No.
You got to throw in the rain. You play for the Browns.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned the Titans. Well, former quarterback Ryan Tannehill of the Miami Dolphins, now for the Titans, beat your boy, Justin Herbert. How about your boy in overtime? 3 and out, baby.
My boy Justin Herbert, who, by the way, I've been screamed at because after the game I was very critical of him, and oh my god, look, I said here and I said everywhere else I was last week, the Titans are going to win that football game. Well, the Titans won that football game because Tannehill went 20-24, and Herbert. So in that game, the Chargers had 2 offensive drives. They started the drive where they were winning 21-17 in the fourth quarter. Then they had a drive in the fourth quarter. They were down by 3. And then they got the ball to start overtime. Herbert in those 4 drives was 9 of 16 for 82 yards, which comes out to about 1 yards per attempt. Okay, that stinks. And that's what I tweeted. I essentially was like, look, if he's going to play and be considered a top quarterback, you got to do more than that, man. You can't give me 2 3-and-outs, 1 first down, and then a punt, and then a field goal where you're 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line, and you can't get in the end zone. Like, at some point, look, is Staley a bigger problem? Yeah, Staley's not a good coach. Fine. But, like, Herbert's part of the issue with this team. Now, look, you just gave him a massive deal, and I think they were right to. I mean, the talents are – but if I'm the Chargers and this season doesn't go well, they don't make the playoffs, let's say, I am blowing this thing up as high as I can. I'm building around Herbert, obviously. Guys like Rashawn Slater. Right. Yeah. But, like, I'm done with Keenan Allen, and I'm done with Mike Williams, and I'm done with Khalil Mack. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I could trade Joey Bosa, I'd do it. I'd trade him. Because he's never healthy. He's never on the field. He's never on the field. So, like, to me, you know, Eckler's another, he's a free agent. He's going to be gone anyway. If I'm the Chargers after this year, I'm clearing the decks. I just want, if this team, obviously Staley's the first one off the deck. Like, you watch them, and if I have to hear one more person say, well, they have talent, who cares? They never win anything.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of teams in the history of sports who have talent that don't win.
Amen.
And they're kind of like, you'll remember these teams, the Eagles of the early 90s, where people looked at them and went, God, the defense is incredible, and they've got Randall Cunningham, and they've got Keith Jackson, and they never win. They never win anything. Like, and the Chargers, all these years of watching them, have all these Pro Bowlers and all pros, and what does it mean? What does it mean? Because at the end of the day, you're still losing because Tannehill threw for 10 yards in a 10. I mean, it's crazy. How the hell does that happen? But it happens with them all the time. I will say it again. This week they play Minnesota, another 0-2 team. They're losing to Minnesota. You can just mark it down right now. Cousins is throwing for 400 yards in that game. So I'll just.
Well, and by the way, that's another thing. The Titans don't have a scary defense. Like you can move the ball on them, and plus you have 3 ginormous receivers, bro.
Who, by the way, the first round pick Johnston, he barely even played.
Yeah,
they barely play him. I think he has 16 receiving yards in 2 games. And so he barely sees the field. And the Titans are very good at the front 4, but after that, you're right. Secondary, you can pick apart.
No, you can hit them. Yeah.
It's amazing. They brought in Kellen Moore, and all you heard about was how Kellen Moore is going to turn Herbert into this deep ball protege. Well, that hasn't happened at all.
Nope.
And so I'm telling you right now, the Chargers have the worst pass defense in football. The Vikings can't run the ball, but they can throw it. Justin Jefferson's going to have 200-plus yards in this game. Like, most people would go, well, they'll just double Jefferson. No, they won't. No, they won't. What Jefferson is going to go against J.C. Jackson the entire game and just torch him. Like, that's what's going to happen in this game. And we're going to walk out of here and go, wow, the Chargers, the 0-3. Oh, yeah, they're going to be, because they're going to give up 400 yards passing in this game.
What do you got going on the SI so folks can check you out, man?
Yeah, so got I do it every week. 3 plays that I rip off the all-22. Last week we had a good Dolphins play. This week it was a pick of Tua, not because of Tua, but because of Christian Gonzalez. Wanted to point out how well he played that. It's actually interesting if you're a Dolphins fan, because the play design was really fascinating. Like, Dalton Smythe, I believe, was wide open, and Tua made the right throw. I mean, you throw the ball one-on-one to Tyreek anytime you can. But it's an interesting play. So that's out today. Quarterback rankings are out Friday. I have a stat that'll define every game that's coming out on Friday. And then also, big day on Friday, apparently, I have a feature which talks about all this stuff about how tackles are lining up more off the line of scrimmage and why it should be called. So I talked to Dean Blandino, I talked to Mitch Schwartz, and I talked to Jeff Schwartz about, hey, look, what is the deal here? And I got to tell you, the O lineman in particular I spoke to gave some fascinating details on, like, alignment and why guys do certain things and how they go off snaps and silent counts. It's minutia, but I really think people ought to enjoy it and learn something from it. I know I did. It was fascinating speaking with those guys.
Good football geeky stuff. That's the kind of stuff I love. Yeah. Follow them on Twitter. Yeah. So if you're a hardcore football guy, you're gonna love that stuff like me. So that's why you check it out. So check out my man Matt there at SI and follow him on Twitter at Matt Verderame. Matt, have a fantastic week. Enjoy the football, my friend. We'll catch up next week.
Take care.
Thank you, sir. All right, here we go. Hour number 2 is next. Joe Shad will join us. Send them a link there, Sean. Joe Shad is next right here on hour number 2 live from Hialeah Park.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. It's time to talk Aqua and Orange. Miami Dolphins fans. Here's a man with incredibly high standards. In fact, he isn't impressed with Tyreek Hill's dominance, Jalen Waddle's speed, or even Terron Armstead's swag. It's the Essential Moving Experts Miami Dolphins Exchange with Joe Shad. When you're looking to move your home or business anywhere in the U.S. from coast to coast, call Essential Moving Experts at 305-602-8369. Flat rates and no surprise charges. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Call 305-602-8369. Let's talk football. Here's Joe Shad.
Get into it. Dolphins Talk with Joe Shad and our Miami Dolphins Exchange. Thanks to our friends at Essential Moving Experts. Joe, how are you doing this Wednesday afternoon, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you, Big O?
Are you in a rubber room? Is that what that is back there? When are they going to put the straitjacket on you?
No, I'm just chilling in bed.
Oh, okay. All right. So, also, you have a rubber room in your bed. Okay. All right. So the wife locks you up there to kind of keep everybody safe in the house. I got it. Okay. All right. That makes sense, Joe. That makes a lot of sense. All right. So give me the update. What's going on with Terron Armstead? What's going on with Salvon Ahmed? What's going on with Jalen Phillips? What's going on with Jalen Waddle? Info. We need it.
Well, we'll find out more about Jalen Waddle later today when Mike McDaniel speaks. He was in good spirits after the game, according to Tua Tagovailoa and according to people who were in the locker room and observed Jalen Waddle. So that's positive. Jalen Phillips and Terron Armstead really went through rigorous workouts before the game. And, it seemed like maybe they wanted to play, but were held out for precautionary reasons, which is smart. Listen, the Dolphins have been able to get away without playing Armstead for the first 2 weeks, and they're 2-0. So huge benefit there as Kendall Lamb continues to play well. And, Savon Ahmed, Coach Mike McDaniel said it's not a torn groin, but when you're a running back and you have a groin, you're probably going to miss a couple of weeks.
One of my favorite segments, by the way, that you do is the tape don't lie. So I'm looking forward to talking about that. Go ahead, finish on the on that. Go ahead.
Well, this puts Devon Achane, the rookie, in position to be the number 2 running back behind Raheem Mostert this week. And so it's good that Achane got his feet wet a little bit in the last game. It really is hard to tell the difference between 26 and 28 at times in practice and even during the game on Sunday. Ahmed has really sort of stepped up his game, and Achane has an even higher ceiling. So as long as the Dolphins have at least 2 healthy running backs with Chris Brooks as a sort of emergency number 3, they should be okay. They just can't afford to lose another guy with Jeff Wilson out for at least 2 more weeks.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. Do we know anything about Elijah Campbell? That's one I didn't ask because I know he was going to be out the first week, but then after that it was a week-to-week thing is what I'm told. So out last week. What about this week? Do we know anything?
No, I mean, he appeared to be closer to returning. So, but the Dolphins are in good shape at safety right now. The combination of Deshaun Elliott and Javon Holland has played very well. That's why you've seen Brandon Jones getting very limited snaps. You've seen Justin Bethel more as the 6th defensive back. So it may be Brandon, who's participating in special teams, just isn't up to speed yet to play in Vic Fangio's defense. And Vic doesn't give a crap. Emmanuel Ogbah makes a lot of money, and he didn't play at all in the last game.
Yeah, and he shouldn't. He should play what fits. And by the way Van Ginkel played, I'm playing that werewolf as much as possible, bro. He was playing like Clay Matthews. That's what I thought I was watching on the other night. I thought I was watching Clay Matthews.
Yeah, I thought it was odd. I thought it was odd that the Dolphins moved him to middle linebacker and that he played ahead of David Long at middle linebacker. After reviewing the tape for the Tape Don't Lie multiple times, which was a fun tape to watch because the Dolphins dominated that game despite the small margin of final score. David Long played well, and Andrew Van Ginkel obviously played out of their minds. So let's keep Long in the middle and Van Ginkel on the edge.
I think, you got to give Fangio a break here because he has to get to learn his players and see what they can and can't do. So he's going to experiment with stuff. And I think that's what's going on here for the first month, 6 weeks. He's trying to figure out in every different type of scenario who excels and who doesn't in this package or that package or this scenario or that situation. And then I think the second half of the year, he'll have a better feel for where everybody stands. And then I think he can really manage it. That's what, like the Ogbah thing. I mean, Joe, just off the top, Ogbah doesn't fit really what he does here, but he inherited him and he has no choice. He has to work with him this year. And, this is like a whole transition year. What we're going to see next year with Fangio is what we're seeing this year with McDaniel. That everybody's back into the same system again. Everybody's comfortable, and everybody now looks more natural in the offense than they did last year, where they were probably doing a lot of thinking. Defensively right now, they're probably doing a lot of thinking.
I read an article about when Vic Fangio got fired by the Broncos as their head coach after 3 years. And, of course, he had a losing record, and all that matters is wins and losses. The defense was good. The offense was not in Denver. They couldn't get the offense straight. And so Vic Fangio didn't have the right combination of quarterback and offensive coordinator.
Right.
And now you have the perfect combination in Miami with McDaniel, who's an offensive guru, and Fangio, who's a defensive guru. That's why ESPN, Fox Sports, and others are now identifying the Dolphins as a Super Bowl favorite. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it
I
is.
know it's only 2 weeks, but to be able to go 2-0 without Jalen Ramsey, without Terron Armstead, and one game without
Huge.
Jalen Phillips
Huge.
tells you this roster is very talented.
2
and
road
this
games.
team
And
is
2 road
very
games.
well coached. The
Only
offensive
San
line
Fran
coach
and
was
Miami.
good.
Only San Fran and Miami opened up with 2 road games to start their schedule, and they're 2-0, bro. That's elite, man. That's elite. Elite is opening up the season with 2 road games, and you win them both. That's elite, bro.
You know, the additions of Vic Fangio and offensive line coach Butch Barry have been critical. And Barry was the Broncos offensive line coach last week. So, you know, he's going to plead and beg with his guys to dominate. Of course, he does that every week, but Bradley Chubb, former Bronco, Vic Fangio, former Bronco, and Butch Barry, former Bronco, and of course Mike McDaniel from Colorado, once a Broncos ball boy. So some interesting crossover.
I'll give my guy Alpha Arteaga a little love there. He put out a tweet. He says, Fangio fired from Denver.
Butch Barry.
Butch Barry fired from Denver.
Bradley Chubb.
Bradley Chubb traded from Denver, and Sean Payton talked crap about Tua in the offseason.
Right.
So, like, this is the ultimate motivation game, and when you think about it, there's a lot of guys that are going to be motivated. I would imagine Tua. But before I get to Tua, and again, one of my favorite pieces that writers do throughout the week is your Tape Don't Lie piece. I always read it and check it out. And the offensive line, talk to us. Without giving everything away that you did on Tape Don't Lie, which you all should subscribe to the Palm Beach Post and check out that segment he does every week and all the other stuff that he does along with Hal. But in that, break down a little bit the offensive line, because once again, man, it looked like they did not just pass block, and I know Tua's helping out getting rid of the ball quickly, but in run blocking, there were some beautiful holes for Mostert.
Yeah, Connor Williams, and I know that folks are upset about his snapping, but he is a thoroughly dominant run blocker. He is extremely athletic and extremely powerful. As long as the snapping is right, he is a top 5, top 7 center in the NFL, and he will get paid by somebody. Just needs to get the snapping cleaned up. Tua has accepted responsibility a little bit on that. Robert Hunt is going to be a Pro Bowler at some point in his NFL career. He is a monster. For him to move the way he moves with his size is extremely impressive. The Dolphins have figured out some things in the run game. Kendall Lamb has been a godsend at left tackle. Everything he did in the spring and the summer has translated to the field. Now, part of this is the offense. Part of it is Tua, but only Baker Mayfield has been hit by defenders fewer times than Tua this year. He's only been hit 4 times. The left guard and the right guard, Isaiah Wynn and Robert Hunt, have allowed 2 pressures the entire season. This is a total reverse. Now, Austin Jackson, not perfect, but much better. Much better than the Austin Jackson we've seen in the
serviceable
past.
Job now. Yeah.
Yes, he gives up a couple of pressures each game, but he is stronger. He has better technique and more confidence. And this guy, Butch Barry, I'm telling you, I'm not an offensive line coach. I don't know everything about offensive line play, but these offensive linemen are playing with passion, fire, anger, determination. And it's really great to see. It's exactly what McDaniel wants.
Do you think Armstead plays this week? Because I kind of get the feeling that he has to play this week, because you've got to get him at least some reps so he doesn't come in really cold for Buffalo. That's a hell of a game that you're going to play against Buffalo. I think you want to give him some reps this week. So is he starting? Does he get some playing time? How do you think they handle that?
Yeah, I mean, he practiced hard 3 times last week, and he went hard in the pregame workouts. So I think that they were thinking he would play in the previous game. So unless there's a setback with the knee, the back, or the whatever it is, foot, ankle, I think he's likely to play. And if he's going to play, he's going to start. You can always go to Lamb if necessary. No reason to dress him if he's not going to start.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm with you there. But I think he does get some playing time. If not start, at least get playing time this week so you could get him ready for Buffalo. Man, I mean, Joe, you look at the schedule, they could easily be 5-1 or 6-0 leading up to that Philadelphia game.
Yeah, when I looked at the schedule early on, I thought that 4-5 was a possibility for the first 9 games. But the Dolphins' strength of schedule has completely changed in complexion, notably because they'll now go without having to face Aaron Rodgers twice. But some of the teams that everyone anticipated were going to be great are not off to good starts, including, I know you love this, Justin Herbert's 0-2 Chargers and Joe Burrow's 0-2 Bengals. Now, Burrow obviously not healthy.
That's different. The Burrow thing, yeah. I give him a break because he didn't practice for 6-7 weeks. His timing is completely off. Plus, his lower body is not healthy. And that's also going to hurt a quarterback. He gets a break. Herbert gets no breaks. He is what he is, bro. He's an athletic Jeff George. Keep telling everybody, and they'll find out eventually.
Jamar Chase came out and said that he wishes the team had rested Burrow the first 2 weeks. And what I thought of when I heard that comment was Terron Armstead. The Dolphins made the choice not to force Terron Armstead back. The Dolphins made the choice not to force Jeff Wilson back. They put him on IR before the season. This isn't the playoffs yet.
I know, but Joe, you
Dolphins have decent depth.
That's it.
Depth.
You just nailed it.
Depth.
No. Actually, compared to last year, they have stupendous depth at left tackle. But
Lamb
the bottom
is a solid
line,
player. I don't know why the Detroit Lions waived this guy. I know he's been around the league a little while.
Sometimes it's the right coaching and the right system, man. Sometimes
he's figured
linemen,
it out.
Yeah.
He was added last November. I think he actually started a game, maybe the last game, and then got hurt very quickly.
Yeah, he did. You are correct. He did start the last game. And linemen are weird, bro. Sometimes linemen, they'll get drafted somewhere. You know, Billy Turner. What's that other guy that went to the Giants? And we had him here. He was like a third rounder, and he did nothing. And then they go to other places.
John Jerry?
Yeah, John Jerry. That's it. And he actually became a decent lineman for the Giants. Not a great lineman, but he was way better than he was here. And it's just weird. Sometimes linemen can bounce around for 4, 5, 6 years and then finally find the right coach, the right system. And maybe that's what's going on with Kendall Lamb and Isaiah Wynn, by the way, which is another guy that has, he bounced around a little bit. He's young. And even a guy like, Greg Bedard, right? So Bedard was like
Greg at the Palm Beach Post.
Right. So Bedard was like, oh, good luck with Isaiah Wynn. And I go, I know.
Belichick said he's a guard.
I go, dude, I know, I get it. Scarnecchia and company can't make him a lineman, so Miami will never make him a lineman. And I go, that's not how it goes with linemen. Sometimes they find a home in another place, and you just can't. You just have no rhyme or reason to it.
Wynn has to figure out the run blocking, but you can tell he's played a lot of games at tackle in the NFL because he's been quite good at pass pro.
Yeah, he's done a good job.
Not to take they call it a stray, right? They're going to say Liam Eichenberg took a stray here, but I'm just going to say that Isaiah Wynn has given up fewer pressures than Liam Eichenberg.
He's a better player than Liam Eichenberg, bro. That's just the bottom line. That's all you can do.
It's been an upgrade.
But back to that point is Cincinnati doesn't have somebody to replace Burrow. So they're so desperate that they have to play him, and that's a position that they're in, unfortunately. Miami had a luxury. They don't have to rush Wilson back. Yeah, they don't have to rush Wilson back because they got plenty of backs. They don't have to rush Armstead because Lamb has made all of us like, hey, yo, bro, yeah, he's been good, and sure enough, it translated to the first 2 games. He's played really well overall, man. Very, very impressed. All right, so talk to me about Tua, because he is dropping some dimes, dude. Tua is dropping some dimes.
By the way, Jake Browning is the Bengals backup, and Jake Browning can't be better than Mike White. So point taken.
Yeah.
Yes. Read the tape, don't lie. Writing about how Tua is playing the best football of his career, which says something considering he led the NFL in passer rating last year. He's got more zip on his out passes. He made one bad decision. Coach McDaniel called him out for it after the game. It was in a bad spot too, because they were up by 7, so you don't want to throw.
They got cute. They got cute, and you wanted to challenge the rookie. You wanted to challenge the rookie. Tyreek probably was telling him in the huddle, "Come on, just throw it, man. I got the rookie." And the rookie, hey, the rookie's a player, bro. Watch out. So
yeah, he is. Christian Gonzalez from Oregon. He's certainly a good player, and of course, Javon. Yeah, just like Javon Holland, Oregon defensive back, who I saw in this game tackle like a linebacker, 3rd and 1, tackle for loss, cover like a corner. He's a great player. Javon Holland's a great player. But getting back to Tua,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, what more can you say than he's playing lights out? He's operating the offense on all cylinders. He continues to make drop in the bucket throws that very few quarterbacks can make. He's getting the ball out quickly. He's moving well in the pocket. He's throwing on time. It's fun to watch, man.
How about the awareness? That's where I'm really, because I expected him to drop dimes and all this kind of stuff that he's doing. I expected him to do that. The part that I was frustrated with him is we're now seeing it. One, he's understands I got to get rid of the ball quickly. 2, if the play's dead, he's now throwing it to the ground, throwing it out of bounds. And then when he's running, he's sliding. He's not putting any shoulder into anybody. Mm-hmm. That's what I really
That's one thing Flores was right about. Right about. He told Tua, give up in the play, slide, stop. He was right about that.
Yes. Yeah. Dude, Marvin Harrison. Okay. It's funny because we all pick on Ted Ginn. Oh, Ted Ginn running out of bounds. Oh, Ted Ginn. Well, that's why Ted Ginn lasted as a wide receiver for 12 years in the league, because he did not take on the extra hit or whatever.
Tyreek does it. You see Tyreek get out of bounds.
Yeah, exactly. And go watch Marvin Harrison highlights everywhere. He'll sit on the floor. He'll slide. He'll run out of bounds. He'll do different things to avoid getting hit. And that's why Marvin Harrison had a Hall of Fame career. And he played for a long time, and he was very small. He wasn't
There was a pass to Berrios down to the 2. He threw it out to the right side there. Remember the one down at the 2-yard line? When you watch the all 22 from behind Tua, he senses a rusher from behind his left shoulder, and he slides to the right, creating just enough time and space to get rid of the ball and avoid contact. I don't know. Jiu-jitsu.
That's the kind of shit that Tannehill could never do.
We keep saying, jiu-jitsu, it's funny. Oh, yeah, jiu-jitsu, it's fun. Maybe it's not so funny. Maybe every freaking quarterback should take this jiu-jitsu. I might go take jiu-jitsu, so I'm a little safer on the road there, Big O.
No, I think that's that radar that normal QBs have, that they can sense the pressure and they know how to manipulate the pocket. And they buy themselves. Marino did that all the time, because Marino couldn't move, but he could slide a couple of feet and buy himself that half second to deliver the ball.
It's like a parent radar. It's like when you're a parent and you know your kid is doing something naughty behind you. Same thing.
Ask Tua about that, and ask him, is that something that's been natural with him? Because Marino did that a lot. I'm just wondering, in the film watching, did he watch any Marino film too? Because that's very Marino-esque what he's doing. But I think that's normal for him. I don't think that's something that he learned from anybody else. I think that's just something that the elite quarterbacks have, the real quarterbacks have. They have that awareness that is sick. They see the guy coming. They know when he's coming, and they let go of the ball right before he gets there.
I think he's been better in the pocket. Been better in the pocket.
Yeah, he's been fantastic in the pocket. To me, that's been my favorite part about his game, because I already had those expectations. You didn't, but I had the expectations of him already dropping dimes because I knew that that's who he was. His issue is staying healthy. That's really his issue. But no, and the other thing, remember he talked last year because sometimes he's too honest to his own for his own good. When he admitted that he didn't know the whole playbook, right? And Tyreek also admitted, which, by the way, most players in their first years don't really know the playbook that first year. But that's the other thing that I see also, Joe. You can tell he knows the playbook like the back of his mind because he really has an awareness of every route that's being run, where everybody is. He knows exactly what play is being called against a certain defense. I mean, there's a real comfort zone from him right now. Do you see the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, to draw a parallel to what we as journalists do, what I do every year, they change the publishing system. Every year they change the operating system on how we put together our headlines and our fonts and how we get photos and all this. And every year I'm like, can we just have the same operating system 2 years in a row? Because if this year I do, and so I can bang that out real fast. I know how to get the photos over here, how to get the headlines over here, how to get things highlighted over here, and much faster.
Okay. All right, good stuff. What do you got going on the Palm Beach Post so folks can check you out?
Yeah, check out the Tape Don't Lie. I really put a lot of time into that. There's a couple thousand words on the Dolphins-Patriots game. For some reason, week 1 got more reads than week 2. So read week 2. Look up the Tape Don't Lie, Joe Shad. And today we get
night games, bro. Late night games. It happens to us too. It's the same thing. You get less traffic on late night games.
Yeah, and I put it together on Monday or Tuesday. After a late night game or a long road trip, it comes out Tuesday. So we'll see which day does better. I prefer to do it Monday if possible because it's fresher. But check it out. And then Tua Tagovailoa will have his weekly news conference later today. It's possibly 5 p.m., so late in the day. But I will at some point have a column reacting to Tua Tagovailoa's news conference.
Follow him on Twitter at Shad Joe and subscribe to the Palm Beach Post like I do. Joe, as always, much love, my brother. We'll catch up next week. Enjoy the football.
See you, bud.
You got it. There you go. The great Joe Shad, Essential Moving Experts. Sean Williams. What a beast, man. Actually, you can ask Marcel Louis Jacques. He just used Essential Moving Experts to move from Dade to Broward County. And if you're moving from Florida to Georgia or from New York to Florida or from Connecticut to California or from California to Texas or from Texas to Florida, whatever it is that you're doing, moving within a city, within a county, from state to state, across the country, you call Essential Moving Experts. As you can see there in the billboard, the colors are Dolphins colors. That's because Sean is a huge Dolphins fan. He's got even season tickets. He drives down from Daytona for the games. That's a fan right there. And, of course, great business. So if you need a moving service, doesn't matter, for your business, for your home, you call Essential Moving Experts. Flat rates, no surprise charges. Marcel called me. He goes, hey, man, yeah, can you call Essential? Because I'm calling for moving services, and they're giving me these flat rates from this price to that price, and they don't give me a fixed price. Essential Moving Experts, flat rates, no surprise charges, safe and efficient loading and unloading practices at all times. Over 1,700 happy customers have given a review that they love Essential Moving Experts, and you will too. So call them and tell them that Big O sent you. 386-213-4054. Call Sean, call Brooke, all the great people at Essential Moving Experts.
You've been listening to the Essential Moving Experts Miami Dolphins Exchange with Joe Shad. When you're looking for local, home, long moving services or office relocation, call Essential Moving Experts at 305-602-8369. Flat rates and no surprise charges. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Call 305-602-8369. Miami Dolphins fans, follow Big O Radio Show on all platforms to keep up with your favorite NFL team.
Yeah, there we go. Pat in Asheville says nugget from Pat Kerwin. He's good, isn't he? I like listening to Pat Kerwin. It's Pat and my boy Miller from the quarterback from Chicago. They do a terrific job. Most NFL teams are still installing the O until the end of September. Let that sink in, folks. Yeah. And on the Dolphins case, the defense guys, these guys don't know the defense yet, and Fangio doesn't know them as well either. So you got to always watch out for that. When I hear the word pocket presence, the first thing I think of is Ryan Tannehill. Man, he was great in that department. The ball placement from Tannehill was as good or better than Marino or Tua. Man, we messed up trading that gem. Marcus says, Big O, have you seen what Marlon Humphrey said about Belichick on the Punchline podcast? I think Savage should check it out because now players are speaking out about Belichick's greatness. Well, but you didn't tell me what he said. What he said, he's not as great or something? You got to tell me what he said there. But yeah, I guess I got to check it out. Tua's going off on the Broncos. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Tony Zags goes, wow, Shad praising Tua. I can't believe it. No, not only you got to see Shad now in his articles and his Twitter posts and all that. Oh, he's Tua convinced him already now. Yeah. Well, by now I would imagine. Yeah, well, except for Poupart, probably. Poupart still probably needs to see Tua win like 8 championships or something, and then he'll say, he's all right. 8 titles. He's Teddy could have won 7. But I would imagine that I think I heard Adam Beasley because it was Fridays, right? I think it was last Friday or Friday before that. No, it was last Friday, I think, that I heard Beasley with Joe, and he basically was like, no, I was wrong about Tua. I heard Joe gushing over about Tua. He's a Tua hater also. He had all the Tua silliness too about short and arm and whatever, all that crap. Who's one of those open haters out there? Oh man, I'm trying to remember some of the meteors. You got a new job, Steve? Got a new job pushing chairs around? You're the chair guy now?
Yeah, high-paid job.
Unpaid? High-paid.
6 figures.
Okay, all right. 6 figures?
Well,
when you add the decimals past the penny?
The decimals a little further to the left than normal.
Oh, man. Anyway, so so Shad is actually praising Tua. It's crazy. Yeah. So some of the Tua haters or Tua disbelievers or whatever, they're kind of turning things around. You know what I'm saying? Tua finally convinced them. I think you want to send Cam a reminder there, Sean, because has anybody been on time today? I think Sean he's looking down going, no, nobody's been on time today. Oh, man. Did you see Warren Sapp is going to join Deion Sanders' staff in Colorado? Apparently, he was trying to join the staff at Jackson State also, but he has to graduate from college. So apparently, Sapp is in the middle of working and finishing his degree. So next year, he can join Deion Sanders on his staff. It's interesting. I just don't see Warren Sapp in that role. Mentor? Not the role I see him in. Not when I know he's had all those issues with, prostitutes. Just not a guy that I don't know. I look at Deion, and Deion's always been like a good dude, carried himself. Deion may be brash and, all that, but Deion's never in any bad stuff. Right? He ain't hitting women. He ain't committing crimes. He's not doing stupid thing. He ain't even getting stopped for speeding, and he's fast. Okay? Like Deion's always been like you may not like his brash style or whatever. I don't care about that, bro. But I got over that with Deion when he was a Seminole. Okay? You know why? Because you can talk all the shit you want if you know how to back it up. Talk it all you want, bro. You want to be Muhammad Ali? Go ahead. You can back it up. I'm good with that. You want to be Mark Gastineau? I'm not good with that. That's different. Now you're talking shit and acting like an idiot, and you're an idiot. So, that's different. You know what I'm saying? If you could walk it, you go ahead and talk it, dude. I have no problem with that. But that's all he is. He's not a bad person. Never has been. Never will be. It's not in his DNA. So when I look at Sapp, I completely look at a different person than Deion Sanders. Completely different person. And so but hey, man, everybody deserves a chance. Everybody deserves a chance to turn their lives around. And maybe Warren Sapp will stop being an idiot and a complete jerk like he's been to most people in his lifetime. We'll see. We shall see. What else? Why don't we do this? Why don't we go with our 3A graphics sports calendar? Last night, the Marlins got it done against the Mutts. They hung in there. Big hit at the end with Berger. 4-3 win. They are half a game out of the wild card race right now. The Cubs have the half game lead on them for that third wild card. Braxton Garrett, much love, 6 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, 7 Ks. Unfortunately, didn't pick up the win. Today it's 6:40 as they wrap it up with the Cubs. Kodai Senga. What a name. Kodai Senga. I love that name. 11-7 and a 2.95 ERA. And Yuri Perez, the youngster, is 5-5 with a 3.06 ERA. Inter Miami back in action tonight. I expect Messi to play 7:30 Drive Pink Stadium. They host Toronto. Thursday, Giants and Niners at 8:15. And, man, college football, Georgia State and Coastal Carolina. Come on, man. You got to give me a better Thursday night game than that. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. Reach out to my guy, Alan Blanco. They do great work, custom printing and embroidery. So if you're a club, your softball team, your business, your whatever it is, uniforms, whatever it is you need to get done, your fantasy football league has got some jerseys or shirts or whatever. All the great people at 3A Graphics, they will take care of you. Alan Blanco, 786-251-3404. That's 786-251-3404. All right, let's do it. Let's unleash the Wolf Pack.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
All right. Let's see if you can stun the people with something, because the people are stunned that Joe Shad is giving Tua credit. Like, they're stunned. They're stunned. They're shocked.
Joe traditionally been a Tua doubter?
Yeah, he's been a Tua doubter. Yes,
Gotcha.
Definitely.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Not as bad as Poupart. Poupart needs to see Tua win 8 championships, and then he'll say, he's all right. He's after Teddy could have won 6 of them. Yeah. But he's converting people. And although it's fun and you're watching it on your network, right? people that weren't necessarily believers of Tua or maybe even the Dolphins.
Yeah.
People are all of a sudden now are believing in Tua and believing in the Dolphins. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. Definitely they have transferred a lot of folks into Dolphins after their first couple of weeks. I think that just as easy, though, people would switch back if they see any cracks, if
For
there's
sure.
any injuries. So I think sports, like the sports takes, are very wishy-washy. Whoever's good, wow, they're amazing. Why didn't anybody believe in them? Whoever's bad, why? We told y'all. We told y'all shouldn't believe in them. And
Yeah, but wait a minute. But you mentioned something which proves there is something that has been erased.
Yes.
You mentioned injuries because by now, if you're questioning Uno's ability, bro, I feel like I can't help you anymore. Like,
Absolutely.
Like your intelligence, I don't know if you have any. I don't know if you have eyes. I don't know if you have a brain. By now, if you're still telling me he's too short, he doesn't have a strong enough arm, he's not athletic enough, he plays too much golf, whatever the stupid excuses I used to hear, that cannot be said anymore, right? That's the part that can't be said.
Yeah, I almost forgot about the golf one.
I didn't. Trust me,
right.
I didn't.
I think 2 years ago, there were several questions about Tua. There was the arm strength. There was the is he good enough? Remember after Fitz finished up a couple of games, it was can he even finish a game? And now it's just the health. I think there are probably still some people who make the jokes about the deep ball. That is still a thing. People still have questions, even though he leads the NFL in yards per attempt when he's throwing the ball regularly, to Tyreek and Waddle 50 yards down the field. That's not the point. The main question I think people still have is the health, which it is what it is. But the fact that he's eliminated those issues so quickly, I think there's a big credit to him.
Yeah, he'll carry the health thing for many years until he actually goes on a streak of many years. And let's just segue into the proper thing now. That I just talked with Joe about this. I'm really proud of him because his awareness now is the proper awareness for this kind of quarterback. He's getting rid of the ball quickly. He is quick to throw it away, throw it on the ground, throw it out of bounds, and he's sliding. He ain't putting a shoulder into anybody or trying to take on it or trying to avoid a tackler and try whatever. He's not doing any of that. And that's, to me, that's enormous. Besides knowing the game and throwing dimes and all that kind of stuff, I expected that. This is the part that I'm really proud of him for the first 2 weeks. He has shown true awareness of the way he's supposed to carry himself.
Yeah, we all love Spicy Tua. We all love him snapping back, but I think you're seeing a guy who's completely content with himself. He has no doubts. He has no doubts about his game, no doubts about who he is, and so he's truly himself. Whether it be spiking back at media, or how he interacts with teammates, like even him getting involved with Raheem Mostert dance. That's just him being himself. And I think as you see him be himself, you'll see more of his natural ability to be a quarterback, even beyond the scheme, because that's another criticism people started to have, which I think is less of a criticism, honestly. But they're saying, oh, well, he's a system guy, right? He runs the system really well. And once you get him out of scheme, out of timing, he gets in trouble, right? That may have been true to an extent in the past, but as we've seen earlier in this year, he's been able to adjust. And that to me is what's most impressive so far this year. We saw him ball out last year in a way we had never seen consistently. This year, teams have had a whole offseason to plan against Tua, plan against McDaniel's offense. And so the question I have is going to be, how do you change when people say, hey, we're going to sit on the slant, we're going to sit on the in-breaking routes? When they're going to do what the Patriots say and say, we're going to play 3 deep tight ends, or 3 deep safeties, and not let you have anything over the top, not let you have anything in the middle, take away Tyreek. What do? Well, we go to Raheem. We go to Jalen Waddle. We adjust. We hit outside the numbers. Those are things that I think unlock and show us a different level of Tua that even we saw last year. So to me, I think that the comfort's right, the confidence right, but also the freedom to play with in the scheme, but also ease out of the scheme if the play needs it.
Talk to me about the offensive line. Are they exceeding your expectations?
Yes, I'd say so. Now, I will say that Tua does lead the NFL in time to throw. And so he's getting the ball tremendously fast out of his hands. And so it's hard for me to say, hey, they've been incredible as a pass blocking unit because they have not got him hit. They have not got him sacked. So that's the main goal. That to me is the base. And I had worries about them in the base, particularly without Terron. But they have protected him. He's obviously helped them. They probably tweaked the offense to go even quicker than maybe they were initially going. And Kendall Lamb stepped up really well. But I think what even impressed me more because of the way the offense is set up is how they opened up holes in that running game. When you see the Patriots essentially disrespect you the way they did with 3 or 4 in the box and say, hey, we're going to take it at a time. That's when you need your O-line to dominate, and they did. And so I've been impressed with Isaiah Wynn stepping in at left guard, a position he hadn't played in years. He looks like a solid starter there. And Kendall Lamb stepped in well for Terron. And it helps you feel good about him as a second factor. I think there's a chance that we see, I don't know if that's you or me, but I think there's a chance that you see Terron back this week. But even so, Kendall Lamb has showed that you can trust him when he's in the game.
I'll read some numbers to you. 10, 13, 18, 17, 9, 6, 10, 15, spike, 27, 28, 7, 18, 22, 18, 20, 23, 9. You know what those numbers are?
I do not.
Those are the sack numbers for Dan Marino every year.
Really?
10, 13, 18, 17, 9, 6, 10, 15. He had the couple years of 27 and 28, which is a lot for him. But normally, because you were saying, because Tua's getting rid of the ball quickly. And Dan Marino had a great left side of the line. Everybody talks to you about Webb and Sims, which they were fantastic. The rest of the line wasn't special, okay? Right. They were serviceable. And he did his job where his radar read quickly and he got rid of the ball quickly. And if the play wasn't there, he threw it away really happily. He threw it away. He was an expert at that. And that's what that reminds me of, that he's doing what Marino used to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what you have to do.
Yes. Marino did it amazing. And even I know it may be blasphemy to compare him, but Brady did that throughout his career. You know, Brady's skill set.
Peyton too.
Peyton too. Their skill sets were preservation as much as anything too. You preserve yourself by getting rid of the ball quickly, your anticipation. And I was talking to someone earlier about this, and they talked about Tua's time to throw. And they were like, well, yes, because McDaniel schemes everything so well. And yes, because Tyreek is so fast. And all these things are true. Speed plays a factor. Play call is a factor. But Tua's one of the best quarterbacks in NFL anticipation. And it's hard to track anticipation. You know how you track anticipation? Time to throw. Your time to throw is based on how you anticipate things. You have to see it open, or can you anticipate that dude being open? And Tua is excellent about that. And the offense fits him perfectly through that. And so you maximize the dude's anticipation. You also get the ball out quicker, which protects him. And so Marino was good at that. Brady was good at that. Tua's good at that. And so people always ask, what is Tua's superpower? Because he's not, he has super accuracy, and he has an amazing anticipation. Those are his two superpowers.
And ball placement. As
well.
See, the problem that people don't understand about the quarterback position is if you don't have accuracy, if you don't have ball placement, if you don't have anticipatory skills, you're not ever going to be a great quarterback. You can run like a deer. You can throw it out of the stadium if you want. You can throw it at 100 miles an hour if you want. That doesn't make you a good quarterback.
Yep.
And so those traits are great to have as long as you have the other ones.
Yes.
If you don't have the other ones, then you're always going to be an incomplete quarterback, and you're going to look like Ryan Tannehill, and you're going to look like certain quarterbacks out there because you got some holes in your game. And that's where, like, Peyton Manning didn't have a gun, bro.
Yeah.
He was just tall. Okay.
Especially at the end. Especially at the end.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. But Tua is not tall, so he doesn't have that part to look over. So he has to use passing lanes in order for him to do his job, which makes it even harder. That's why the guys like Breeze and Tua and guys that work and live in that anticipatory type of world, they have, when they get to the NFL, there's a little bit of an adjustment for them because they have to adjust their skill set to the game speed. Whereas these big ass athletes, they're not adjusting to the game speed. They have to adjust to the way the game is played, the way it's designed, the way that they have to decipher everything. That's the easy part for the Breezes of the world and the Tuas of the world. They can decipher. It's really finding the timing of the game speed with their arm, because their arm is a little slower than the game speed. So they have to then adjust. And that's the beauty of Tua. That's why I never had any doubts that he was going to be elite, because he had the right traits to be elite. While the other people are worried about the shiny objects. And look at Justin Herbert again this week. Overtime and 3 and out. You know what I mean? And it's, I keep telling you, he's an athletic Jeff George. Okay?
Who, Tua?
No.
I was about to say, wait, what?
No. Justin Herbert is an athletic Jeff George, is what he is. He's an athletic.
So to me, I was thinking about Justin Herbert recently, and I'm like, who can I compare him to? And I know it's probably a lazy comparison because of the city. It gives me a lot of Phillip Rivers vibes.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers gives me a lot of those vibes. He's more athletic than Phillip Rivers was.
Yeah, he has the Jeff George gun.
Yes. But the Phillip Rivers thing is Phillip Rivers would always put up amazing numbers. You always felt the Chargers should be better than they were because they had Phillip Rivers. He was never the best quarterback in the league, but you always thought Phillip Rivers was one of the group, one of the 5 to 7 best quarterbacks of that year. But they never got to the Super Bowl. They never got past the AFC divisional, AFC championship game. And the Chargers haven't even got past the first round yet. And so a lot of these stats start to feel empty if you don't win. And so the Chargers, like I know this is a Dolphins stat, the Chargers are one of the more interesting teams to me to watch over the next month. They're 0-2. If it starts to get really bad, something's got to change. And it already changed both coordinators. You know what's next.
Yeah, Jim Everett's another guy that kind of reminds me of Justin Herbert. Another guy, tall, big arm, but then kind of shaky in those moments that you need him badly.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just, when you watch Tua this past week, he goes 7 of 7 on that drive, and you're like, this is a money player, bro. That's what this guy does. It's how he's wired. You know what I mean?
Yep.
How far? What do you do with Andrew Van Ginkel? Because what he did this week screams, give me playing time.
Yeah, it's so interesting because you have 2 edge rushers. You have Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb, right? The way Van Ginkel looked rushing the edge was better than we had ever seen. Like, that was Andrew Van Ginkel's best game as a pro. And they used him primarily as an edge rusher. And it's so tough to take Bradley and Jalen Phillips off the field. But the way Van Ginkel played is telling me that I've got to give him some of those snaps. I got to figure out a way. Even if it's decreasing, maybe we say, hey, Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips, y'all are both at 70%, and we find a way to get Van Ginkel 50, 60%. And you just go in for either guy, and we just do a 3-man rotation there. And so you don't feel like you're benching one. You're just reducing. Maybe everybody stays fresh. I like Van Ginkel better on the outside than I do on the inside.
Definitely.
And I know they probably put him on the inside because he needs reps on the field. They want to get him on the field, and they had a depth issue at inside backer. But can he do the same things at inside that he can do it outside? I'm not sure. Unless you start changing your blitz patterns or your pass rush patterns that come from the inside, I don't know if it flows that way. And so I just say I move Van Ginkel back to the outside. That's where he's the most disruptive for most of the snaps. And then I just figure it out. And if Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb have an issue, then you got an issue with winning. And so that's how I approach it. And if that means I gotta play David Long as a full-time backer, that's what you signed up for.
Jason Sanders, what are you doing?
Whew. I gotta start thinking about what my free agency looks like. I think it's too early to make a change, but it's not too early to start thinking about what my options are. It's been going on for a little bit. I think you just start to look around a little bit and say, hey, if you give him at least 2-3 more weeks of grace. This has been your kicker for a long time. But if 2 or 3 weeks, he's still missing kicks. You still can't trust him. I think you got to start looking to see what the other options are available.
Yeah, because, dude, he's put your game at risk 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. And for a team as good as the Dolphins, they can't have a kicker they can't trust. That's it. You can't have a kicker where late in games and a game you need, you're like, oh, man, this 45-yard field goal, this 52-yard field goal, can he make it? I don't know. You got to have confidence. Now, guys are going to miss. It's not a perfect league. But right now, if you tell me Jason Sanders is lining up for a 50-yard field goal and win the game, I'm not very confident.
I will say this. When's the trading deadline?
I think it's around Halloween.
Okay. Because, street free agency, you may not find anybody. But by the trading deadline, there'll be several teams that'll be out of the playoff race. One of them might actually have a good kicker. And you know what? That might be the avenue, because I was thinking about that last night. And I was going, man, free agency is going to be hard to replace Jason Sanders. You give him a couple more weeks because you got to do it anyways. You got to wait for the trading deadline. You got to get closer to it. And if he doesn't perform well, then maybe the way you do get a kicker is by going after a team that is out of the playoff race and has a good kicker and is willing to trade him. And that's it.
That's a good point.
That's the only way I was thinking that you can replace, because right now what's on the street may be just as reliable as Jason Sanders is right now.
Yeah.
And that's not really going to make any progress. Meanwhile, if you take somebody off of somebody else's roster by the trading deadline, they're already been in a groove for the entire year. So now you've got somebody that's playing and in a groove and confident, and then you add them to your team, and I think that puts you in a better position. That's how I was thinking that you might be able to replace Jason Sanders.
Yeah. You just need I know I'm a big competition guy. To me, I think you got to give him a chance. I think McDaniel did this last year, where I think there was I don't remember what week, but he had a rough couple of weeks, and the questions popped up again. And I think McDaniel said, hey, we believe in him. We're going to give him another chance. And I think he started to play well the rest of the season. I wonder if that's the same situation here, where he gives you a public bout of confidence, which could mean I got public confidence until you screw up again, and see if that sparks him. And if it doesn't, then you got to think about bringing in competition one way or the other. I think that starts with something easy like signing the kicker to your practice squad, letting them compete for a couple of weeks. But then if you decide we got to make a move, maybe you do your route. Maybe you trade for a guy. Maybe you sign a guy that you like better. But right now, I definitely think he should be on watch.
So did you end up doing your homework with Peter Schrager?
What was my homework?
You're supposed to ask him if he's a Dolphin. Because
I haven't been in person with him.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't think he is.
I think he is, bro. I think he is.
I think that he has a relationship with Mike McDaniel and he likes Mike McDaniel. I don't know that he's a Dolphins fan, but maybe I'm wrong.
So over the last couple of years, I've always noticed him kind of very pro Dolphins. And I'm like, man, I'm wondering if this guy has a little bit of aqua and orange in his blood, because it always seems that way that he's always pro Dolphins now. So I just bring it up. All right, what do you got going on in the NFL Network so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get a quick workout in. We got late practice today, so 2:30, 2:40 Mike McDaniel talks. So I'm gonna get an hour workout in. Mike McDaniel talks. Tua's talking today. They have practice, and then I'll be on Total Access tonight from 7 to 8. Should be coming up around 7:15 Eastern. Talk a little Dolphins. I talked a little Dolphins yesterday on the Insiders. I'm going to be talking a little bit of Dolphins tomorrow and on Friday, and I'll be doing the game on Sunday. So you guys got me all this week. I think the last time I was around the league, and now I got a home game. So I'll be talking all Dolphins this week.
Good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf and catch him on the NFL Network. Catch him tonight, 7 to 8 p.m. He'll be out there live doing his thing. Cam, as always, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you immensely.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. KSDT CPA, offices in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. Also now an office in Charlotte, North Carolina. They are hiring in Charlotte, North Carolina. So if we have anybody listening, I know we do. We have several listeners in the North Carolina area. If you're looking for work, call them right there. See, 305-670-3370. If you're looking for work in Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach counties, they're also hiring. 305-670-3370. And tax season is here. The second deadline just arrived. They can give you a 10-day break. So let's go. Get on it. Call them, whether it's your personal taxes, your business taxes, KSDT CPAs. They are a top 200 firm by Forbes, accounting firm, tax firm. So you definitely want to call a company that knows what they're doing, and they can help your business grow too. So if you're looking for payroll help, if you're looking for maybe you want to find out how much your business is worth, you're looking to sell it, man, they can help you with all of that. If you've got some tax planning to do, retirement, whatever it is, folks, KSDT can help you in every angle of your business and, of course, your personal taxes. Call them 305-670-3370 or use that QR code right there on the screen for KSDT CPAs.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right. Let's go with some birthdays today. How about that? Let's see birthdays. Khabib Nurmagomedov, is that how it's pronounced? The MMA fighter, badass dude, the guy that got Connor and absolutely squashed his ass, and that was one of the best nights in a long time. TV actor John Bernthal is 47. Sophia Loren is 89 years old. Trevor Diggs, football player, is 25. Philip Phillips, pop singer, is 33 years old. A lot of YouTube stars, bro. TikTok and YouTube stars like crazy, and I don't know any of them. And that's about it. The Dream, music producer, is 46. And that's it. There you go. Those are some of the folks celebrating birthdays today and in music history. On September 20th in 1968, Led Zeppelin started recording their self-titled debut album at London's Olympic Studios. It only took 36 hours of studio time. That's pretty quick. In 73, singer Jim Croce was killed in a plane crash in Louisiana. He was only 30 years old. In 76, AC/DC released their third album, Dirty Deeds, Done the Cheap. Dirty Deeds and the Done the Cheap. Ow! In 1980, Queen started a 5-week run on the top of the album charts with The Game, the band's only #1 record in America. That's the one that had Crazy Little Thing Called Love, if I'm correct. The Game had that. And The Game is also a great song. In 1975, on this day, David Bowie had his first #1 song in America with Fame. In 86, on this date, Huey Lewis and the News. It's I'm so happy to be stuck with you. Started a 2-week run at the top of the singles charts. In 91, Nirvana kicked off a 6-week U.S. tour in support of their second album, Nevermind. And that, my friends, is some of the things that happen in Musica history. All right. So Vanna White, did you see that? Keeping in the music and entertainment area, Vanna White has extended her contract with Wheel of Fortune by 2 years. So she is signed through 25 and 26. So Sajak, by the way, announces his plans to retire after the 41st season, which began this week. Ryan Seacrest of American Idol will be the one that takes over, succeeding in the 24-25 year. And God bless her, bro. I mean, think about it. You need no talent whatsoever to do what Vanna White has done her whole life. Zero talent. Look, decent because she's a pretty woman, and spin letters and make lots of money. I mean, only in America, as Don King would say, right? Only in America. Staying in entertainment and music, but there's more on the entertainment side. Kim Kardashian has been hanging out with Odell Beckham Jr. Is that why his ankle's hurt? He was trying to carry her big ass? One loser that deserves another loser. Odell Beckham and Kim Kardashian. Jesus. That is just absolutely terrible. What a terrible story, by the way, with the Patriots in the Dolphin game where the Patriot fan died and a Dolphin fan killed him, basically in a fight. What is wrong with people out there? Go in a football game, bro. What do you want to fight in a football game for? I mean, poor man goes to a football game and he ends up dying. Jesus, there's a GoFundMe page. There's all kinds of stuff out there. Big E, by the way, you're a stud. I saw what you were doing on Twitter. As always, Big E is such a good human being. Not only is he a great Dolphin fan, but he's just a good human being. Everything you see from the guy, just everything about Big E is always positive stuff, man. Really good person. And certainly that fan does not, the sad part is that there's just idiots and assholes in every group of everything. I think cops in general are good people, and I think they mean well, but there's a bad group of cops. Just is. And there's a bad group of Dolphin fans and Canes fans and Bills fans and Yankee fans and Cubs fans and Giants fans and Padre fans, and there's idiots in every group of fan bases, because I know there's a whole bunch of great people in the Dolphin fan base. Man, I met a lot of them when I went to Canton. Got to meet a lot of them. There's a lot of great people, but there's going to be jerks in anything and everything that we do in life. And that piece of shit doesn't represent us as a Dolphins nation. I don't know who it is. I don't know who that guy is. I haven't seen the name yet. But that guy's not going to get the light of day from anybody in the Dolphin nation. There's no place for that. Sad, man. Family lost their loved one over two people arguing about a game. That just makes zero sense. Zero sense. All right, when sports and business collide, folks, we love doing something called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. Enough. Well, guess what? Sports, as you know, is growing on platforms. It's getting off of traditional television, and they're going to Amazon and Netflix and YouTube and so on and so forth. And Hulu. Hulu has sports, that kind of stuff. Well, guess what? Turner Sports, Warner Brothers Discovery is now adding a live sports tier to Max. The streaming add-on, which will carry Bleacher Report brand now that the Turner name has faded away, will launch on October 5th at $10 a month. No charge will be assessed to existing Max subscribers until next February 29th, unlike the long-defunct streaming services Bleacher Report Live, which was a standalone. The new offering will only be available as part of a Max subscription. The venture widens the departure of WBD's coverage of the NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball and the NCAA men's basketball tournament, a joint venture with Paramount. Also in store for the new tier are celebrity golf productions, The Match, U.S. soccer matches, and select live international sporting events, as well as the 24 hours of Le Mans, cycle racing, and on-demand programming. Studio shows like the well-regarded Inside the NBA will also be a part of the add-on tier, as will Bleacher Report's live video offerings, including its coverage of the NFL Draft and popular vodcasts featuring active players like Mookie Betts, Von Miller, Micah Parsons, and Travis Hunter. As the most recent quarter, WB reported having a $95.8 million global streaming subscribers, most of those on Max. The new sports tier is rolling out as Warner Brothers Discovery is getting set to hold talks with the NBA about a multi-billion-dollar rights extension. The league's current deal with Disney, ESPN, and WBD will expire at the end of the 24-25 season. So we're getting another platform with more sports, and it's driving us crazy, bro. Driving us crazy. Use that QR code. That is your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
Stocco is telling me, can you imagine where this team would be if Flo hadn't been fired? Oh, my God. I would go over to Ronnie Katz, Dr. Ronnie Katz, and I'd tell him, hey, Doc, just break my jaw. I know you repair jaws. I know you do all kinds of surgery, implants, everything, and all that. But do me a favor. Flo stayed here. Just break my jaw. I need some pain so I can forget about Flo. It would have been such a nightmare, bro. Tua would have been toast. God, I don't even want to think about it. It would have been a lot of the same stupid shit that has happened here forever would have continued to happen here. Don't forget, folks, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. Frankie Fresco chiming in with a super chat. He says, AEW Grand Slam. 2 matches for you, O. All right. ROH champ Claudio Castagnoli. Castagnoli? Is that how it's pronounced? Castagnoli. Versus, almost, okay. NJPW champ Eddie Kingston. Who you got secondly? Okay, well, let's go first with Castagnoli against Eddie Kingston. So, I'm thinking, Eddie Grant was Jamaican, and he was going on through Electric Avenue, and that was probably somewhere in Kingston, Jamaica. So I'm going to go with Eddie Grant in Kingston, jamming the tune that I love, right? Because Claudio Castagnoli sounds like a guy that should be making me some pasta in a kitchen somewhere. And Eddie Kingston sounds like a guy that is probably going to kick your ass at the same time, and then sing that he's going to walk on through Electric Avenue. So I'm going to go with Eddie Grant Kingston singing Electric Avenue and kicking Castagnoli's ass. Next is who we got here, AEW champ MJF and Samoa Joe. Well, I'm a Tua guy. I'm with the Samoan Sniper. So if I'm with the Samoan Sniper, I got to be with Samoan Joe. I got to be with my Polynesian people, bro. What's wrong with you? So I'm going with Samoa Joe slamming MJF. Okay? Samoa Joe and Eddie Grant Kingston jamming on Electric Avenue. What do you got, Sean? What's the thumbs down for? Which one?
I hope you're right on the Kingston, and I don't think Samoa Joe's winning.
Oh, you're going against the Polynesian peoples? That's not good.
Yeah. MJF is not going to lose on a televised show. Pay-per-view, maybe, not a televised show.
Isn't it televised if it's also on pay-per-view?
No, you pay $49.99 to watch him lose. You pay nothing to watch him.
But both are televised, aren't they?
Yes, but it's not pay-per-view.
Okay.
Television.
Okay. All right. You said televised, not pay-per-view. We are televised right now. My ugly face is on some television somewhere right now. Right now, somebody's got a TV on, and it's probably cracking with my face on it. Because, I mean, I definitely have a face for radio. It's torturous for me to actually put my face on television for you guys. Let's see. Chris Daughtry. From upstate New York. Thanks for instilling security in us fans that were afraid of the O-line. Keep up the great work. Can't wait for a collab with you and DDW hopefully soon. Yeah, I thought Dougie was supposed to send me some stuff. I got to reach out to his ass. We were supposed to do it like last Wednesday or something. I don't know why he hasn't reached out to me. So, waiting for our thing that we do normally, me and Doug. I know my life is crazy and running around all the time. But I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, right? And it sounded, I love when people think, he's just being a homer. I don't do that. Yeah, of course, I pull for all the local teams. But if they don't do something I like, I'm going to tell you that I don't like this, or I don't tell you it's not good. And when I tell you that the line is better than what you think, and it actually might be the best line in the division, I wasn't kidding about that. Just like if I believe in Tua, I'm not doing it because I didn't believe in John Beck or Pat White or Ryan Tannehill, okay? Or Jay Cutler or whatever you brought here for many, many years. So all of a sudden I believe in this guy, not in all the other guys. Now I'm a homer? Doesn't make any sense. And I've ripped linemen forever here. Why would I tell you they're going to have the best line in the division? Why would I tell you they're going to be better than what you think they are? Because I believe it. Not because I'm playing with the pom-poms here or anything like that. You know what I mean? So when I tell you something, it's because I believe it. I'm not telling you for shtick. So I'm glad that, Chris, you understand where I'm coming from. You believe what I'm saying, and I'm not just throwing it. You know what I mean? Because like I told you, I had a discussion with a media member the other day. Oh, you've become such a homer for the Dolphins. I'm like, no, dude. You're saying that because that fits your agenda, not mine. I truly believe in Tua. You've heard Joe here on the show. You don't really believe. Yeah, dude, it's not shtick. What's the difference? It's like, that's not who I am. I don't do this shit for shtick. Never have. You guys could go listen to other people that just want to create hate all the time, and that's their shtick. And you can listen to the person that's just a homer, and that person will be a homer this year, 5 years ago, and 10 years ago. That's not who I am. I'm a hometown guy, but I'm not the guy that's just going to paint a pretty picture about everything just to do that. I don't do that. I ripped into Fangio. I was unhappy that first week how he allowed them to get run over. Unacceptable. This week, did much better. We call it like we see it, man. And I really meant it when I told you a couple of weeks ago, look out, the Dolphins may have the best offensive line in the division. And, and look out, the Dolphins are maybe better than a lot of teams you see around the NFL because there's a lot worse lines out there, dude. A lot worse. Like, the Browns can run block. They can't pass block. I mean, you're watching some of these games, and the quarterbacks are running for their lives. And I'm looking at Tua, and he's not running for his life. So I'm glad that you feel good about it, and you all should feel better about it. You should, as I told you, you got to let go past. Enjoy this shit, man. Enjoy this. You deserve it. You deserve to enjoy all of this. Don't let these people bring you down, man. Big O got my tickets for Depeche Mode. Memento show here in D.C. Do you plan to go or see them in Miami? I don't know yet because my problem with it is they're not playing enough classics. The last time I counted was 8 classic. Now, listen, man, I have seen Depeche Mode, it's double digits. And I've seen them in their heyday. And so I'm a little spoiled, when it comes to that. And so I don't like a lot of their new music. I don't think they've done a good job in the last couple of albums. And they've been playing too much of it. And so, and listen, if you haven't seen Depeche Mode ever, then go for it, dude. You know what I mean? But I've seen them a ton, and so if you're not going to play what I want you to play, like some of the classics, let's see, September 15th. Oh, no, wait, that's not them. Here we go. This August 11th, last one. Let's see, Walking in My Shoes, okay? In Your Room, Everything Counts. Precious, I Feel You, World in My Eyes, Enjoy the Silence, Can't Get Enough, Never Let Me Down, Personal Jesus, 10. So out of the 23 songs, they do 10 classics. I don't know if that's enough for me to go and pay the money. I'm the guy, man, I've seen them do Blasphemous Rumors and, Black Celebration and, you name it all, Master and Servant, everything, all the old stuff. I've seen them, I went to the Music for the Masses tour, which is one of my favorite albums with Little 15 and Pimp and, all that kind of stuff that I saw Depeche Mode for the Violator tour with the opening up. So I've seen them in their heyday and singing all of the classics pretty much. And this is my problem that like in this one here that I looked up in Norway, they are playing Memento Mori, Playing the Angel, Ultra, Construction Time Again, Sounds of the Universe. These are albums that are more of the newer albums and just not enough of the classics for me. So I'm a little spoiled. If you've never seen them, I can see you. I can understand why you want to go. But for me, I probably won't go because it's just not enough, unfortunately. I'm spoiled. Let's see. Your face is actually on my 65-inch television. Wow, Ray, that is ugly. Oof. Damn. I'm sorry, bro. I apologize. Well, my parents should apologize. They created this. Safed Dean just posted a USA Today article that says the autopsy says that the Patriot fan died of a medical condition, not traumatic injuries from the fight. Were the medical conditions brought on from the fight? Gordon, if you fought somebody and you hit them twice and then they went on to die right after you hit them, whatever explanation they give you will not be satisfying. No, I can't see that, to be quite honest. So, you know, I don't know. Big old Ray Finkel is available for Sunday. Him and Marino made peace and got the word. Chris says, it's not about being a homer. I'm 36. I'm trying not to wait for the other foot to drop. I'm just happy we got a great team. It ain't dropping, bro. And it didn't drop last year. It was just injuries. I get what you're saying, the bad luck and all that. But last year was a good team, too, that was just got ripped off by the injuries. That's it, man. It's not like dropping because they were bad and they were frauds or anything like that. It was all injuries. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. It's satisfying listening to the truth instead of what some people try to make the truth. Exactly. Yeah. Pat Asheville says, saw Nick Cave last night. Very talented guy, open tour in Asheville. I've never been to an opening tour show, and now I get to see 2 in 1 week. U2, 26 songs. He kept going. Want to hear another? I thought the fan hit his head when he went down as well. I don't know. I'm not sure. There was a whole bunch of people there. The sad part is, it's what people have pointed out. Everybody's filming. Nobody's trying to separate the fight. And you got to try to separate the fight. Like, sad, man. Nobody should go to a game and lose their lives. You see the XFL and the USFL are in talks. I don't know if anything has broken since I've been on the show, but apparently the XFL and the USFL right now, listen, they're both losing their asses. No minor league football team makes any money. The only minor league football team that wasn't minor and had a chance to make money and be big was the USFL, the original. And then because of, Trump actually is the one that kind of screwed them. They lost they won the lawsuit, but lost the judgment of it for $1. And so that was the league that bought the right players. That's the league that those of us that back in the day, if you know what I'm talking about, we legitimately watched the USFL. Because, dude, Jim Kelly was there and Steve Young was playing there and Reggie White was playing there. It was like real studs. Herschel Walker. There was like badass players were playing in that league. It was actually a competitive league. And that's really the only way you're going to survive. And to take on the NFL nowadays, back in the 60s when the AFL did it, the NFL didn't have the proper footing that it has now. It doesn't dominate every big city like it does now. In those days, it wasn't in every big city. So the AFL could move to certain cities that the NFL wasn't in and create some leverage, which they did, and then that forced a merger. But now we've got the XFL and the USFL, and here now, again, I'm a big Rock guy. I think he's a fantastic human being, does a lot of good stuff, and I think he means well for all of this. But if a minor league nowadays ever wants to survive, it has to be connected to the NFL. And I've said this over and over and over again. All those practice squad players you have, they need to be in the XFL, USFL play. or half of them, because you're going to need some anyways for practice and all that kind of stuff. But you should have your own type of squad that you have in the XFL, USFL, developmental players. And then that way, if you have a developmental quarterback, now your developmental quarterback can go play in the XFL, USFL, whatever you want to call it, and then get the playing time that he can't get in the NFL because there's no space for him at the moment. But at least you can develop him. You got, a Noah Igbenogany who cannot get better for you because he's not playing. Imagine if you had a minor league system where Noah could have played the last couple of years. Maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't, but it can't hurt. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the only way, because that'll make us watch the minor league because, hey, our developmental quarterback is there. Hey, our developmental this, or hey, they got this young guy. I really like him, but he's green. Okay, he's going to be in the minors. And that's how we would end up watching it. But outside of that, unless you go full-blown USFL, I don't know how I'm talking about 80s USFL. Yeah, I don't know how you do it. I just don't know how you do it. Doesn't make any sense. So we'll see if a merge ends up happening with those two. So what that says is he was a walking dead. You hit him, you kill him. They are making excuses not to press charges. I mean, they'll do an investigation, bro. There's no playing favorites here. If the guy's guilty, they'll press charges, So have you made 4K hour? Well, I did already on the other one. Yes, we did. We went over like 5, close to 6K. You guys kicked the ass. But we got screwed by YouTube. So all for naught. And I appreciate you guys for helping us out and trying. YouTube is such a pain in the ass. It really is, dude. Big O, they did separate the fight. He went back in. You gotta keep them apart, bro. Gotta keep them apart. Sucks. Big O, I hope I made you laugh today. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate you. Do you think Buffalo gives us our first loss, or are we going to Germany with an 8-0 record, 6-0 record? Oh, you're talking about Kansas City is 8-0. I think our first test is Philly. If Bills will be a test, but I think they win. I think they beat the Bills. Okay? So I think Miami beats the Bills. I think Miami is 6-0 before they take on Philadelphia. That's the real challenge. That's the team that, not that their offense scares the crap out of me, but their defense is really good, and that's going to be their offensive line is actually really good. But the passer doesn't scare me because he's not a great passer yet. He's improved, but he's not a great passer. Let's see, 206 likes, 276. Let's go. That's right, Chef Juju. Do it. Ricky Lisabeth, Lisabeth, right? Big O, do you think the Dolphins win the Super Bowl? I'm 50 years old, grew up in the Dan Marino era, ain't getting any younger. This could be the year. I like them this year, man. They just need the luck of staying healthy, my friend. If they can do that, I think they've got a great chance to win it all. A minor league would really benefit O-linemen, too, with their technique as well. That's a great call, Gordon. That's a fantastic call, dude. You have a – now, here's the only thing that's going to be an issue, right? Because you're not going to have 32 minor league teams. So you're going to have 10, 12, 14 of them. So multiple teams are going to have to be on one system in one team. So what happens if you have a, let's say, outside zone scheme here? Okay, that helps the Miami linemen. But what about if another team has their players there but they don't play outside zone scheme? Doesn't help them. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only trick to it, because you're not going to have 32. But then if you only have 12, certain people are going to be in charge of those teams so they can develop their players the right way. I'll give you an example. The Yankees, when you go play at Tampa Stadium, Yankees in Tampa Stadium, okay, the the configuration of the ballpark is exactly to Yankee Stadium. So when you're there playing for the Tampa Yanks, you're playing in the exact field you would play in, same exact dimensions as you would if you get called up to Yankee Stadium. And so you want to kind of have that same kind of continuity, Gordon. So I love your idea. The only thing that I can foresee being a problem is it's going to be limited in teams. So if you have 32 and there's only 12, well, then there's going to be some unhappy people because some of their players aren't going to be playing in the right schemes because you're not going to be able to satisfy everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so that will be the challenge to that part of it. Okay? Unless you go 32. And then the NFL owners are going to freak out because then they're carrying the entire minor league team and then all the positions, all the entire roster and everything. That's a lot of people. But if it's 32 into 12, then it's a lot less money that they will be spending to run that league. All these kind of things have to be thought out. So there you go. Like I said, we ain't scared of Buffalo. You shouldn't be. Let's not look to pass the Broncos. Let's handle our business. Yeah, I'm sure they will, dude. This is fans talking, not players, my brother. I'm sure they're focused completely on the Broncos. Remember, the great part for this team is they were 8-3 last year, and they saw everything, all the wheels come off. So they know what it's like for it to go well, and then the wheels come off. They don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually a really good thing. All right, we thank Michelle Kaufman, Matt Verderame, Cameron Wolf, and Joe Shad for joining us. Of course, Sean Stanley, mastering this entire platform every day. They had their wrestling show yesterday, him and Frankie. So if you didn't catch the wrestling show, why don't you go watch it now? Remember, watch the channel as much as possible. Hit the like button. Check it all out. We appreciate all of you out there. We'll be back here tomorrow at Hialeah Park, okay? So we'll catch you here tomorrow at Hialeah Park. We'll be here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we'll be back to the normal time on Thursday at 3 in the afternoon here at Hialeah Park. I thank Steve Calabro, by the way, Frank Fiore, all the great people out here in the Brunetti family for making it nice and easy for us. There we go. There we go. Yeah, baby. The boys getting it done. The Squared Circle Digest. I like it. I like it. Yeah. Support the boys. Let's go. Watch that wrestling show. All right. We are out of here. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show.